welcome back to Mr. Adelson. Mr. Adelson, how you doing? Victoria Girl, Kim, how are you doing? Good, I hope. How was your drive, Kim? You get through the snow? Just like a polar bear. Just like a polar bear. Just like a mama polar bear making her way through the snow. No drive. No snow dive. Nothing. So we're back tonight with, what is it? The recommencement of Adelson Week. Adelson Week? Has it been that long? It's been a whole week. We're doing a whole week of Adelson stuff. But I figured we'd just start off slow with the continuation of Charlie Adelson's direct examination. Why not? It's fantastic. Yeah. So, I don't know, should we just dive right in? Let's dive right in. I would say it's so great to see so many of you in the chat, but where is everybody? Didn't you get my fantastic link? Next time I'll have to send out a memo. Hey, keep a lookout for Spacey Dove. We've got some real good news for her. Spacey, where are you? You want to hear this news? This is great news. It's exciting news. We're going to solo. All right, rock on. Rock on. Just need a couple of minutes, guys. Setting up. Yeah, the minute any of you see Spacey Dove, let me know in the comments. Oh, and by the way, if anyone missed part 1, there's a link in the description. Part 1, there's a link in the description. Yeah, Amy's got a great point. I forgot to hit the like button myself. Yes, I do like my own content. If I don't, who will? How do I do that? I need to click. We're clicking. View on YouTube and hit that big thumbs up. Exercise your thumb. We're in the echo chamber tonight again. I just heard my own voice. It's kind of cool though. I listened to the other show the other day. Yes, I listen to my own content like an ego freak. Sometimes. I hate that I do that, but you know, it's important, you know. it's what do you call it? Qualifying, research. I kind of like the echo. It sounds like I'm underwater. Anyway, where are we? Let's go. Oh shit, hang on. I've got a serious issue with the... I gotta put this cell phone... Oh, 1 bar. I gotta put it right next to the window. Maybe that'll be better. You know, you come and stay in a fancy hotel. It's not that fancy, really. But it is a room, and you think everything's going to be all right. It has been nice to have electricity, real electricity. I've just got my battery in here charging up. Huge fucking battery over there charging up. We've got 12 hours before checkout. Got to charge up that battery. But lo and behold, the fucking internet is shit on my cell phone. Amazing, right? If it's not one problem, it's another. Ah, the stream keeps cutting out. Fuck me. How is it now? Is it better? Where can I put that phone? Ah. God damn it. Well, let's give it 1 minute and see if it adjusts. Amy, you let me know.
We're going to play some.
Mr. Adelson.
Okay, better now. Look at him trying to eyeball the jury. Blues brother Sarah Dugan over there. Man, I would pay good money to see Sarah Dugan and Georgia Cappleman brush each other's hair.
Everyone can be seated. Mr. Rashbaum, you may continue with your examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Charlie.
Amy, I'm nowhere near the phone, okay? The phone is all the way over there. I don't know what the message said. Like, is it an emergency?
You're aware of something called the bump, correct?
Yes, I am.
And you're aware that as a result of the bump, a whole host of calls happen after it, correct?
Yes.
Judge, I promise not to play every call, but we're going to play some. So at this point in time, permission to publish already in evidence, State Exhibit A.
Please proceed.
Oh, this should be good. Hey, who's high collar in the white over here? Just behind Georgia. It kind of looks like Letitia Stout's attractive sister. There's no audio, but we will watch Charlie blinking, because what the hell is with that? Slow blink, Charles.
Everyone put on their
Oh, the fucking internet, man. Son of a fucking bitch. Yeah, Neverly, thanks, but it's my cell phone. It's not getting fucking signal out of this fucking building.
Before they'll sit through it again.
Adjust the volume on this. The volume.
Hey, Rashbaum, let's go, man. Fuck around. This guy, so unprofessional. Look at this. Sarah Dugan and
Audio in your headphones.
Georgia Cappleman are now
All
helping
right.
him.
Please give a thumbs up so that way I can be sure everyone can hear it.
I guess.
My God, what the fuck? What a fucking mess.
Later tomorrow.
It's up to you. I mean, does it sound like it?
Mr. Adelson, are you having any difficulty with hearing what's coming out of the speaker?
I can hear it pretty good.
All right, let's do a test run for the jurors.
Well, it's only taken your attorney 15 fucking minutes to get that sorted.
They're fine with listening to the speaker, we'll move on. If not, they can put back on their headsets. But I don't want to spend much time messing around with the headsets either.
It's all working, so maybe you just, if they want to use a headset, they can. If they
Oh, I just want to smash him in the fucking face right now, I tell you.
All right, please bring him in.
Fuck off. Yellow ties. Banned. No yellow ties. Ever.
Everyone can be seated. Members of the jury, we're going to test the speaker first to determine whether you can clearly hear the audio coming out of the speaker. If you can clearly hear the audio, please give a thumbs up. If not, you'll have the option of putting back on your headsets. I believe where is their audio?
Did someone write a letter to you or something?
Okay.
Okay, everyone's good? All right, so we're not going to do the screen, because that's just causing for more problems. All right.
Continue at your own.
Causing for more problems. You're the fucking problem, Dan. It's you. You're the problem.
Carol, but you may continue.
Your Honor. So, Charlie, I'm going to play for you call A. This is a call on April 19th, 2016, 2:09 p.m. It's the first call with your mom after the bump. Okay?
So, if have time tonight after work or some other time in the very near future, and you need to speak with them.
Okay.
Okay?
Did someone write a letter to you or something?
Is it the IRS? Is it another one of our schemes that went bad? Is someone suing us again? Is it a patient that I botched?
You're being sued.
Thank you, Nicole E, for hitting that like. Big thumbs. Thumbs up.
No, that's what I thought it was. But I'm going to need to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay? So, maybe I'll have to figure out something. Can tell us looking wherever you are.
Well, I'm in Mitch Klein's office on Oakland Park Boulevard.
Okay.
So I'm right now in the Skyline Chili, and I'll be at his office in the afternoon.
Oh, he's at Skyline Chili right now. I wonder what's on the menu.
The boys have finished their piano lesson. They're on fours, and they the traffic up there, and they take a ride with them up there.
Did Dad know about this?
The dad's at work today, fortunately.
What's, I can't, is it the IRS?
Is it the IRS? Is it that tax fraud that we did and are guilty of? Has someone found out? Someone blabbed. Who blabbed? Was it Dad?
You know, the IRS people, they kind of bother you sometimes, but fortunately not me.
Okay.
So I will talk to you. I'll give you a heads up if I'm going to drive up that way.
Okay.
Okay? And
Does Wendy know that? Is it involved Wendy?
No.
No, nothing to do with Wendy. Nothing to do with Wendy. No. I'm amazed how obvious it is that Donna is like, listen, something's come up. I can't talk about it on the phone. Her KG affect is like, listen, you need to come here. This is a signal. You need to come here. We can't talk on the phone. And Charlie just will not get that fucking point, will he? He's like, oh, is it this? Is it the IRS? Something to do with Wendy? Is everyone's health all right? What is it? What is it? That's his ADHD.
No. So let me just talk to you later. And
What is it? Is everyone's health okay?
yeah.
Does it involve me or other people?
He gets into this guessing game thing. It's like suddenly he's just become, instead of getting the point that we're not talking about this on the phone. Here's a hint, Charlie. If she wanted to talk about it on the phone, she would have said it already. Okay? You got that? It's obvious that there's an issue. Yeah? Now just say, okay, so I'll come and see you at the Icon later today. That's all. That's what she's looking for. But no, that won't do it for you, will it, Charlie? You've got to go, is everyone's health okay? Is it something to do with me or other people? Is it Wendy? Is it Dad? Is it the IRS? Is it a patient that I botched? You know, is it a bad review on Yelp? What is it? He's fallen into this trap of needing to know instant gratification, right? That's his big thing in all affairs, right? Instant gratification. He wants a jet ski, he gets a jet ski today. He wants a go-kart, he gets a professional go-kart today. You know, he wants an Asian woman, he gets an Asian woman today.
Well, probably.
What's that?
Probably the two of them. So you probably have a general idea.
And then Donna's like, probably to do with the two of us. Well, that's not implicative, indicative, implicative language at all, is it? Probably to do with the two of us. I mean, that is a sinker at trial, right? That is a sinker. That's like the Exxon Valdez or the Edmund Fitzgerald just going down with the crew. Down with the crew.
Ah.
So let's just find some time to talk to you.
I'm sorry, I don't think the Exxon Valdez sank. Let's just call it the Edmund Fitzgerald. It's the Edmund Fitzgerald of all phone calls. Probably to do with the two of us, you and me, and that plan that we did that we can't talk about.
Each other for a while, okay?
You're going to take the boys up there? So it's harder to talk to me today.
Or tomorrow.
But Charlie Adelson is playing this game now like one of those, games you play in the car on a long drive, like you've just got to kill a bunch of hours, so you play a long guessing game. like I Spy, but super extended, right? It's amazing to me. I mean, how he's not picking up of the need not to talk on the phone right now, and he's flirting around the issues, right? Key issues that would indicate that if it is that subject, we should not be talking about it on the phone. Is it to do with Wendy? It's to do with you and me, and probably I have an idea what you're talking about. So, the murder of Dan Markel? Bingo!
All right. Well, I'll be up at Miss Klein's office. You want to come up? Oh, yeah, so really like.
I'm just concerned that I can just have to get up there and get back and find for Benji to get them. Sometimes she gets out a little earlier, but not I mean,
Can I ask you a question? Who paperwork has from?
I see them, that's great. I think, I think it's hands to hands and I was really good on today.
And he was it anonymous or?
Oh no, not anonymous. Not anonymous. I just don't want to discuss it on the phone.
Right, whatever it is, it is.
No.
I was silly, but if you want,
I wouldn't bother you. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. You want me to come down to see you tomorrow? I actually have the day off.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Dad actually starts later tomorrow. You know, he goes in at 1 o'clock. We both work out at the gym from 9:30 to 10:30. So
whatever it is, I'll take a look at the paperwork.
Yeah.
I hope it's not the IRS, but I
just would like you to review it and give me some input as to what your thoughts are. Okay? So come down tomorrow. Dad leaves at 12, so anytime after 12 is good.
12 tomorrow.
Yeah, he leaves at 12. He starts at 1 there, so 12, 12:15.
All right, I'll come down in the afternoon. I think hang out with you.
That would be great.
Perfect. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Let me come by.
Okay.
Charlie, where are you when this call happens?
Mitch Klein's
At
office.
Skyline Chili, eating a bowl of chili.
Your
I'm at
mom's-
Skyline Chili, eating a bowl of chili. Well, it'd be weird if you were at Skyline Chili eating a bowl of penne arrabbiata, you know. What else would be incongruent with eating a bowl of at Skyline Chili? I don't know.
Says that she had some paperwork delivered to her. Do you have any clue what she's talking about?
I have no clue what she's talking about.
What do you guess?
I thought it was the IRS.
What else do you guess?
Is everyone's health okay?
Do you think it has anything to do
Yeah, because he's a caring person, right?
with either your extortion or Professor Markel's murder at this point in time?
No, not at all.
Why are you asking so many questions?
My mom, I know my mom my whole life. She's talking weird on the phone. She's like something's obvious. I can tell something's bothering her. But
Yeah, I've known my mother my whole life as well, apart from the last few years.
she's beating around the bush.
Now, your mom says, you say, does it involve me or other people? And your mom responds, well, probably both of us. Probably the two of us. So you probably have a general idea of what I'm talking about. And I want to focus on those statements. Okay?
Bethany Bears, welcome back from Brooklyn. How's that bridge doing? How's Sheep's Head Bay?
She says that to you. Did you have any clue what she was talking about?
No, I think I asked her a few more questions after that.
Now, as the calls progress, do you know what she's talking about?
By the time I got to the end of the third call, I knew exactly what she was talking. I felt like I knew pretty much what she was talking about.
By that point in time, and I want to go back to this line, does it involve me or other people? Her answer, well, probably both of us, probably the two of us. So you probably have a general idea of what I'm talking about. By the end of figuring out what this was, what did you understand her to be saying here?
By the time I got down to the...
This is the major fault of Dan Rashbaum's style of defending Charlie in this case, right? Because he's juggling balls that aren't relevant to this trial. He's protecting Wendy. We saw his cross-examination of Wendy, the softest cross-examination in history, I think. He's protecting Wendy. He's protecting Donna. There was no need to do that, right? If Dan had thrown Wendy under the bus, if Dan Rashbaum, I'm talking about, if Dan Rashbaum had thrown Wendy under the bus and thrown Donna under the bus, the murder bus, right, in Charlie Adelson's trial, that fact would not matter in the larger scheme of things. They're separate trials, separate juries. Okay? We've seen that sort of thing before. I can't think of an example, but I know I've seen it before, where it doesn't matter. It was just all done wrong. And I understand much of a defence that can be had for certainly Charlie's involvement. All those recorded conversations, the video of him at Matsuri with Harvey talking about the murder, the video of him at Dolce Vita with Catherine Magbanua talking about the murder, the gifts, the payroll, the money, everything, right? Totally hard one to excuse. Hard evidence to excuse to any jury. But it really wouldn't have mattered to Donna or Wendy if Dan had come into this trial and thrown them both under the murder bus. But Dan's chosen to protect it. I mean, it almost seems like Dan's actions, and I've wondered about this, right? Dan's actions in defending Charlie seem to be more about defending Wendy and Donna than they are Charlie. I mean, in a lot of ways. That seems to be the main goal in his defense, right? Which is very strange. But, we know that they've all been sitting down together, talking legal, talking case, right? Coming up with plan, coming up with strategies, and everyone's had to say yes and agree. And why? Because Dan Rashbaum's got himself a big, fat retainer, right? How much money do you think he's made? He's been retained on the case by Donna since 2016. At this point in time, it's 2023. That's 7 years of retention. How much money is that worth? Well, it bought him that fucking $2 million house, didn't it?
Third call, I realized fully what she was talking about in this call, in that she's getting extorted.
And so why the two of us?
She knows I was extorted 2 years earlier, and it's the same people that are coming to extort her for money. So she's trying to say like it's the same thing that happened to you is happening to me.
And
well, why wouldn't she just say that then? This TV is going to be about 5.
Just to be clear, about a month and a half after the...
Absolutely, Dan Rashbaum prepped Wendy for her cross, which is totally incongruent with his statement at the beginning. We've met one time, and we've never spoken about this case. Or whatever it was he said. He made a real big point at the beginning to illustrate that Dan and Wendy have not prepped their argument. Bullshit. No way. And perhaps it was done in a clever way that wouldn't leave, Dan could have spoken directly with Wendy's attorney, legal representative, put the information through that, attorney-client privilege, nothing can ever be revealed, but that whole thing was absolutely scripted, prepped. Wendy knew every question, had rehearsed responses, practiced responses, and the whole thing was just one big script. Now, whether Dan and Wendy actually sat down together as two individuals and spoke, listen, I'm going to ask you this, and then you need to say this. Well, perhaps not. But that doesn't matter at all, right? Because it's so easy, lawyer to lawyer. It came up with the Catherine Magbanua. I think Charlie was asked, but didn't your lawyers speak to... You never spoke to Tara Kawas yourself, right, Charlie? But your lawyer did speak to Tara Kawas, and so on. It's people get hooked on the thing of, well, did they meet in person and discuss? Well, they don't have to. And it's very easy with attorney-client privilege to put word through your lawyer to someone else's lawyer, and that's how you facilitate communication. Certainly. Wendy was not coming in cold. I would bet my fucking life on that. Never mind $50. I would put my life on the line and say, no way Wendy came in cold to that cross-examination. Bullshit.
The extortion of you, who did you tell?
My mom. She's the only person I told.
Now, when she says it's probably the both of us, probably the two of us, you understand the state's theory is that this murder conspiracy...
I'm just keeping an eye on the bit rate, and it's going down to 0. I mean, holy shit. Why can't I catch a break, Where should I put the fucking phone? Should I put it by the door? What's the deal? Is it the building? The building is preventing the signal? I mean, Well, we're leaving here tomorrow, so we'll be back with real internet in the mobile studio. Fuck this place. It's nice to have a bed, like a real bed, and a shower. It's been pretty great. I've had like 15 showers in one day. With soap and everything. Not my dog, like actual soap.
Was, in addition to Katie, Sigfredo, and Luis Rivera, you, your mom...
Actually, maybe I should give Soap a shower, while I can. But she doesn't like that. She's a real swimmer dog. Labrador, they love water. But put her in a shower, she freaks out.
Your dad, your sister. Do you understand that?
I do now, yeah.
She doesn't say probably the 4 of us, does she?
No, she does not.
I love watching Rashbaum's, this is a really common thing he does, this sideline glances to the jury. It's ridiculous. And it really comes across as him needing to gauge their reaction because he knows what he's saying is shady. It doesn't inspire trust. You never, not once, see Georgia Cappleman do that. I've never seen her look at the jury to check if they're buying what she's selling. Not one single time. Look at Dan here. I'm just going to put it back 10 seconds. Fuck.
Luis Rivera. You, your mom, your dad, your sister. Do you understand that?
I do now, yeah.
She doesn't say probably the 4 of us, does she?
No, she does not.
She doesn't say all of us, does she?
No.
She says the 2 of us. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the bump, what was the bump?
The bump was an extortion from Latin King gang members. Or actually, it was the
Is that what it was?
FBI pretending to be Latin King gang members.
Yeah, that you fell for and believed. That you were really worried about and got totally sketched out, and then finally realised it was the FBI, and then were even more sketched out. We were watching every moment, Charlie. Don't worry. The whole world. Eyes on you, son.
Now, on this call, there's discussion about your dad's schedule. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Why was it important? Why do you learn later that it was important what your dad's schedule was?
Because my dad never knew what happened to me. And my mom was going to want to talk to me when my dad wasn't around.
If we could go to...
we were planning his paella party. Oh, have you organised the big gift? It's his 70th, so it's got to be a really big gift.
B, which is a call right after,
Man,
and it's you calling.
if I was Ben and Lincoln, after all this comes out, after every Adelson is behind bars, and the boys take back the name Markel, like they should, and move to Toronto, like they should, they're never going to be able to eat paella again. Not once. Not once.
Your mom back.
Sure.
May I publish, Your Honor?
Oh, he's going to call her back after he's had time to think. He's stuck at Skyline Chili. Call from the mom. Crazy message. Is everyone's health okay? Is it to do with me or other people? Is it to do with Wendy? Is it the IRS? Is it a patient that I botched? She's getting off the phone, and he's just sat there eating his chili, probably wearing a bib, right? And he's perusing, well, not perusing, he's just going over these thoughts in his mind, and then calls her back.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Is it me not paying the sun pass?
Where's Victoria girl, by the way? She was the first in, and now she's not here at all. I guess she's still at work. What time is it in Pacific time, Neverly? Oh, I have this... Oh, I can't reach my phone. That's okay. But also, where's Spacey Dove? Because we've got an announcement. We've got an announcement, Spacey. Come back, Spacey.
I'm kidding. No, listen, what was I going to say? Do you mind paying my Brown and Brown insurance?
No.
Oh, yeah. He really makes this sound like an innocuous call, like normal. Yeah, do you mind paying my Brown and Brown insurance?
Okay, because I'm going to just stick with the same company.
In a minute, he's going to be like, "Oh, and that thing that you spoke about earlier, I wouldn't worry about that thing. That thing, yeah, so good, you know. Would you mind paying my..." You know, in his mind, before he made this call, he was like, okay, I think I know what this is about. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call her and not have the thing be the first thing that I speak to her about. Right? This is like when you're a kid and you phone someone for drugs and you're like, could we come and get the green paint? Yeah, we need 20 tins of green paint. Do you have any green paint? Is it good quality green paint? Yeah, okay. We'll be by in 30 minutes to pick up that green paint.
Yeah, but the thing is this, if you stay with the same company for 3 years, they can then try to bump you down into a lower bracket.
Oh, okay. So it's a good idea to do that.
So I might as well stay with them and then hope that that's actually true, that they can do what they said about putting it in a lower bracket.
Okay. So you want me to call Pam Hall?
Yeah, because I told her.
Oh, you're at work right now, Neverly? Okay. Hope it's going well.
My mom would call her because she handles like that stuff at the office.
Okay.
And then just send them in a check. Because they have to have it before, I want to say the 29th or something.
Okay.
And then do that. And listen, whatever it is, whatever someone sent you, I wouldn't worry too much about anything. I mean, someone could.
Yeah, whatever it is or isn't, it's probably nothing, and I wouldn't worry about it. Hey, little interesting fact, guys. Right now, I am wearing an official, not available to the public, Harvard t-shirt. But not just a Harvard t-shirt. A Harvard Crimson t-shirt. And, to any of you that don't know, Crimson is the newspaper, the Harvard newspaper, of which Dan Markel was once chief editor, right? And this t-shirt that I'm wearing right now, that's not available to the public, that's only made by Harvard, was given to people that work on the newspaper. Dan Markel probably was given a t-shirt just like the one I'm wearing, right? You can't buy this online. And I am wearing it. It's just, I looked it up. I put into Google, I put Dan Markel, Harvard Crimson. And that is exactly the publication that he was editor of. So I am immensely proud of that. And I just think it's so fitting. And it's just really cool. I feel super connected to Dan Markel, And, it's not just printed. The logo and Crimson is like printed, but the Harvard bit is in proper embroidered letters, like a football jersey. An old school football jersey. I just think it's great. It's fantastic. Been loving it. It's a little bit big for me, but that's okay. That's the look, right? It's like I feel like a skater boy.
Write whatever they want to write, say whatever they want to say, and I'm not worried. So, was it another bad review on Yelp?
There's reviews coming in. Sometimes they are bad reviews. This is a particularly bad one.
But I'm not being sued.
No.
Okay. All right. Honestly, whatever it is, and I wouldn't just judging from what you're making it sound like. I wouldn't stress it out too much.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, people can always write. People can always say anything they want. It doesn't. Someone says you're a bad dentist, it doesn't mean you're a bad dentist. So. But anyway, I will. I'll definitely come down. It actually works out perfectly if I had the day off.
Wearing a backwards baseball cap. Me? No, not at the moment. But it's right there. It's. I got my LA Angels baseball cap right there, Neverly. And I love it so much. Amy, Amy's going to send me a copy of the DSM. You got to have baseball in Maryland, right? But I think all the teams suck, right? So, no offense. And I'm not really talking about the sports. I'm talking about their logos. LA Angels was like, yeah, I like the logo. But I think anytime someone sends me something from the States, they should include a baseball cap for sure. That'd be great. We could do. Oh yeah, we're gonna do our map thing soon, guys, where everyone can put their location, rough location, not their address, but it would just be cool to build up a map. And True Crime Metrix, we need a baseball cap from every state and Canadian province.
Okay. So I'll make you take me out to dinner, so make sure you bring cash with you.
All right.
Okay?
Do I need to bring cash?
Yeah, it's like if you take me out to dinner, I'm going to have
I want to pause it there.
Or hockey, Victoria girl, you can send me a full goalie face mask from the Grizzlies.
You call your mom back and you start talking about the Sun Pass. Does that have anything to do with this case, the Sun Pass? Is it code?
Sun Pass is not code.
Why do you mention the Sun Pass?
Because a couple weeks earlier, my Sun Pass.
Bethany Bez, no, I didn't work on Harvard Crimson. My dad gave me this show, but completely out of the context of the case. He doesn't know anything about the case. I think it was because he knows that I like Frasier, the TV show, and he's always going on about Harvard. I don't know. he just gave it to me, but I was like, oh fucking hell, that's the newspaper. That's the fucking newspaper that Dan Markel worked on. And my dad looked at me like, who's Dan Markel?
Got stolen out of the car from a valet. I didn't realize it. My parents were getting all these bills, so they make a big deal about little things sometimes. So whatever it was, I was making fun of my mom. I thought she was like a small issue, like a Sun Pass thing.
And you then start talking about Brown and Brown Insurance. What's Brown and Brown Insurance? Is that code?
No. That was actually the reason I called her back. Is that for the last.
No, it wasn't code. Brown and Brown Insurance wasn't code. It was, innocent filler. It was to make it seem like that's why I was calling back, right? It was like, yeah, the first thing I mentioned better be like the thing that I don't want to talk about. So in some ways, that does count as code.
Last call, I forgot to tell her to pay that insurance. Otherwise, if my insurance lapses, they'll cancel the policy. And it was due. So it was due by the 29th.
You then start making more guesses. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'm still at a loss for what's going on.
You bring up Yelp. You bring up getting sued, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, any clue whatsoever what this is about at this point in time?
No, she just sounded really weird on the first call.
Okay. Then we get to the part that we just stopped. And she says to you, I will make you take me out to dinner, so make sure you bring cash with you. And that
and Donna's like, yeah, and you can take me out for dinner, so make sure you bring cash, like, for the bribe that we need. This TV's going to be about $5,000. This TV. This other TV. Unbelievable how bad these guys are. I mean, I just must be a fucking sketchy guy, but I know how to do these kind of things without making it this fucking obvious. You know what I mean?
At that point in time, what happens to your demeanor? You can hear it on the call. What happens?
I stutter and I repeat back to her what she just said. I'm like, I got to bring cash with me. Like it was so out of place.
Why did that happen at that point in time?
I think she was trying to hint to me that she's getting extorted.
So what was odd about you bringing cash to dinner?
I put everything I possibly can on my credit card. That's how I've ended up saving up so much cash. But.
And let's hear how you respond.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea, right?
Yeah. Was this? I should bring cash. I don't have much cash to bring.
No. Okay. I'll see if I have money to get it. Let's see. Let's see what I have here. Okay.
Was it, can I ask you, is someone blackmailing you?
No, it's just a good possibility.
You think someone's trying to blackmail you?
Maybe.
No.
I just find it so amazing, you know. The reason that they're being cagey on the phone, Donna especially, is because she just doesn't know what's going on. Has she thought this might be the police? Yes. That's why she's being cagey on the phone. But in the act of being cagey on the phone, that she especially is just being super cagey on the phone. Which, if police are listening, they're like, I mean, that's consciousness of guilt, right? If she was going to phone Charlie at all, she should have just said, someone just approached me on the street, handed me a picture of Dan, and demanded money. What the fuck does this mean? We need to go to the police. That's what she should have said. And if she'd have said that, Charlie would have been able to probably, hopefully, pick up on that and say, okay, listen, I'll come over and speak to you tonight. And this sounds crazy. This sounds crazy. But instead, Donna's like, am I being blackmailed? Well, maybe. And she's not saying yes because she's being cagey. But when she says, maybe, I mean, does that sound like a normal conversation? She should have either waited to see Charlie in person, or she should have been upfront about what just happened, or not called him at all. I mean, this is basic. This is so basic. And don't argue the case that she doesn't think that police could be listening, because that's the only reason. It's not the Latin kings that are going to be bugging the fucking phone. You know, in what world does that happen?
That's crazy. Is there...
Riding shotgun, hello, Linda, hello. Back pain forever. And everyone else, hello, Rayanne, good to see you.
I don't know what blackmail before, but is there any way I can see you? You can't come up here at all.
It's difficult because they don't think the parent teacher wouldn't use for the therapy. And even if I came up there and got the 5:15,
Riding, did you lose video? Yeah, well, we're trying to... I think the phone's positioned as in the best place possible, and I think it's all right for the most part. We're going to be out of this dead zone tomorrow, so yeah, we'll be back to our fully good signal tomorrow. But I think for the most part it's been okay, unless you've gone back to the beginning of the video. Yeah, we moved the phone a few minutes ago and it seems to be better now. I'm getting a good report from the software.
It'll be tough to, necessarily get back here in time for the month.
Was this? Can I just ask you this? Is this anything government related, or is this like whack job writing a letter to you?
Like who?
Is it like a whack job writing a letter to you, or is this government related?
No, I don't know if it's government related.
Government meaning police.
Not government or military or...
Yeah, the military. Why the fuck would the military be writing a letter to Donna that she can't talk about? Is it government related, like military or Congress or or the cops? He wants to say cops, right? Is it the cops? but he thinks he's come up with a really clever way to ask that without asking it, right? Like, is it government related, like, you know, military or any other government agency?
Anything like that. No. Who was the letter addressed to? To you. That's crazy. Did it have a? Do you know who sent it to you?
That was a pretty good idea. But you know, we'll talk later. Either I would like to. I will definitely. I just don't know if I'm going to get back here in time for them to
Whoever sent you the letter sent you an anonymous letter. Did they sign it? So someone showed up. Was it like by a process server?
That's what it did was.
It wasn't. Where did they come to you at?
When I walked out of the building, and they were out, and I put that first driveways at the icon.
Right.
And then I walked in about 5 feet from pressing the button so that I could cross the street, pick up the door, and just to get that on the sidewalk. Yep. Okay, sweetie, so you say that.
So let's talk about this call. You ask your mom after she tells you to bring cash, is someone blackmailing you? And she says it's a good possibility. Now what are you thinking?
I'm starting to evaluate. You know, I still don't have an idea, but I was extorted 21 months earlier, so I'm starting to evaluate: is it related to that, or what could it be?
And are you growing more concerned?
Very, yeah.
And you ask her who the letter was addressed to. Why do you ask her that?
Because I was the one who was extorted 21 months earlier. I had no idea why they'd be going to my mom. If it was related to me.
You then mentioned the possibility of seeing your mom tonight, and she doesn't want to see you tonight. Why doesn't she want to see you?
Because she's watching the boys, and
Yeah, this signal's really bad tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to think what I can do. I'm going to try and move the phone to a new place. Okay, we've moved the phone to a new place, so hopefully that will be better. Sorry about that, guys.
She didn't want Wendy to ask her, where were you, and have to tell her, you know.
We usually don't have these issues, you know. We've come into a building, and the building has shit internet. Okay. Yeah. Just when you think everything's going to be alright, there's a fucking problem.
Or what's going on?
Now, again, I thought, according to the state's theory, Wendy is a co-conspirator in this case, right?
That's part of their theory.
Now, you then say on this, is the person threatening you or anything? Why are you asking that?
Because on the night of the 18th, I was told if you don't pay in 48 hours, you're going to get killed. So I was trying to compare it to what happened to me to to see, is this related to what happened to me?
Oh, Bethany's going to Morocco. Morocco is a great place to visit. One of the best countries I've ever been to. It's fantastic. Definitely go to Chef Shawen.
You later tell her that your advice to her is going to be to go to the police. Why would your advice to her to be to go to the police at this point in time?
Because I don't think it's related to what happened to me. When I asked my mom, are they threatening you? She was like, well, maybe. You never know how to interpret these things. And like it was very clear what the threat was to me on the 18th. So like, okay, then it's something unrelated to, at that level of seriousness. Maybe it's something involving code enforcement or OSHA or somebody messing with them. So I was just like, all right, just go to the police.
Now, towards the end of the call, you say it wouldn't be the first time I'm being threatened. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
What were you referring to?
When I was extorted 21 months earlier, I was threatened. So I was trying to compare it to that to see, is it possibly related to what happened to me?
At the end of this call,
this is his, this is a major tell with deception, guys. And Charlie does it way too much. He keeps referring to what happened to him as, quote unquote, what happened to him or what happened to me. Was T behind what happened to me? And if you don't say what happened to you, it's a major tell. People do it all the time. This kind of, it's distancing, right? It's non-committal. It's almost like I don't recall. It's like the thing that happened to me. It's suggesting something, but not exactly saying what it was.
do you know what is going on yet?
No, I don't know what's going on yet.
Let's go to the third call, which is 12 minutes later. And this is C.
Tarantina's been to Morocco twice. Where did you go, Tarantina? I went up and down the whole fucking thing. On the night train. The actual night train to Marrakesh, which is a song by who's that by? Is it Crosby, Stills and Nash? I can't remember who that's by. But yeah, I really did that. The night train to Marrakesh. From Tangiers to Marrakesh.
And this is at 3 o'clock p.m. between you and your mom.
Oh, Bethany Bears, if you're in Essaouira, definitely go to Tarazu. Tarazu. Nice place. Good place. Surf, beach, nice. It's much quieter than Essaouira. And it's not that far. It's like maybe 30 minutes, an hour on a bus. Very nice. And if you're going from Marrakesh to Essaouira, you'll go across the Atlas Mountains, and that's always very fun.
Hey, John.
Great. Sorry about that. Quick question for you. Well, one thing I was going to tell you is obviously don't talk about things in the apartment or any place.
No, obviously.
The other thing is, was the person black, white, Hispanic?
Yeah, don't talk about my brown and brown insurance in the apartment, obviously, okay? Obviously, do not talk about my brown and brown insurance in the apartment.
And they just came up to you and they said your name and they handed you a piece of paper?
No, no, didn't hand it right away. First spoke to me for a while and then handed it to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they wearing hats, sunglasses, or?
No, nothing. Nothing. Describe them to a T.
What's that? You could describe them to a T.
No, nothing.
Was the person nervous or were they angry? Or?
No, calm as could be. Totally calm.
That's really crazy. Are they trying to ask for money or something? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, there's scumbags out there all the time that try to do stuff like that.
Oh, I know.
So
That's why I just want you to see, because I don't want, your father upset.
don't say anything to Dad until I take a look at it. Because Dad flies off.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh no, I won't say anything to Dad. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't mention my Brown and Brown insurance to Dad. Absolutely no. Absolutely no.
That's what I suggested after he goes to work tomorrow.
Did the person give you any kind of like time frame or anything?
No.
Okay.
It's clear what's wanted.
What is it? Kind of exactly what they ask for?
Brown and Brown insurance is just a real thing. It's not code for anything. It was just the excuse for him to call her back. After he got the first call from Donna, and Charlie was like, "Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that?" The call ended, and when Charlie called back, Charlie thought, I know what will be clever. I'll make the first thing this normal thing, right? I'll just say something about my Brown and Brown insurance. Oh, hey, how are you? Can you pay my Brown and Brown insurance? Oh, and by the way, that other thing, that secret thing, I wouldn't worry about it. It was just his way of acting like that wasn't the priority for the call, right? The priority was Brown and Brown, and then the secondary matter was just like, oh, that other extortion plan or whatever, that's what it was. So it is code in a way.
I don't know, this TV is probably about $5.
They asked you for $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey.
And then, girlfriend. Hi, Sandra. Come on in. Good. How are you? Okay.
That's crazy. Let me take a look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll go from there.
Your turn. Lincoln phone first. Okay, do that one. Yeah, that is good.
Hey, Brian.
Now, in the 12 minutes before this call, had you started to put the pieces together and figure out what was going on a little bit?
A little bit. I was thinking about the first call and the second call, and the more I thought about it, I thought this is related to what happened to me. Somehow this is related.
Again, I really want to make a clip show of this. This is related to what happened to me. Was T behind what happened to me? Well, if what happened to him was a truthful thing, right? He would say what it was. That's what I'm saying. This is a major tell. This is a common tell. This is as common as elaborate lies. When someone's lying and they come up with a lie that is really over the top elaborate because trying to demonstrate its validity, that's more commonly known as a tell, right? But this one is different. But just as common, just slightly less known for some reason. This it's a distancing thing, it's an ambiguous thing, it's a non-committal thing. What happened to me? Was T behind what happened to me? Well, I was thinking she was talking about what happened to me. You know, it's just basic. You know, if I'd have spent 18 months in jail rehearsing the fucking trial of my... And Charlie doesn't. And that means he's a fucking idiot.
Related to it.
And what does your attention shift to in the very beginning of this call?
I wanted to compare it to what happened to me 21 months earlier to see are these the same people that are doing this?
Yeah, are these the same people that did what happened to me? What happened to me was done by the people that did what happened to me. And when they did what happened to me got done. And there I was with having done what happened to me.
And so the first question you ask, were they black, white, or Hispanic? Why do you ask that question?
Because I always suspect that did it. I mean...
No, what he's asking that for is he's thought of a really clever way to act like he doesn't know what's going on, but for his mother to give him an indication. But his mother doesn't. She says he's white. Maybe that was a poor choice in the undercover, because the whole point was that he was posing as a Latin king. I mean, can you even be a Latin king if you're just straight white? I would assume that you've got to be of Latin descent, whether that's Hispanic or... I don't know. Could you be Italian and be a Latin king gang member? No. If you're Italian, you're in the mob. You know? You're organised crime. I think it's just for, Puerto Rican lowriders.
Process in my head, that was my first guess, and that's who I would have guessed it was. When I met him, he was an angry guy, and I was trying to see, is this somebody fitting his description that's maybe coming to my mom and doing this.
Why do you ask her? Did they give you a time frame?
Because that night I was told you got 48 hours to pay up. I'm trying to compare it to, is this person telling my mom you got 48 hours to pay up?
Oh.
Now,
Charlie loved that. He was like, yeah. That fits with my story of events. Yeah, they gave me a time frame, so that's why I asked the time frame. It's not the case. There was no time frame given to Charlie because his extortion didn't happen. He's asking his mother for a time frame because, he wants to know how urgent it is. How quickly he needs to act and find a way to communicate with Katie and find out what the fuck's going on, right? That's what it is.
She says no, but it is clear what is wanted. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And then she says, this TV is probably about 5. Now, before we get there, in the very start of the call, you say don't talk about anything in the apartment or any place. Sure. Why do you say that to your mom?
Well, that was one of the first things I told her when I told her what had happened to me when I got extorted and was picking up the checks from her, is to never talk about it with anybody, not talk about it on the phone, don't talk in the apartment, is that there's always a chance that the police are listening.
And what would you be afraid the police were listening to if you didn't do a murder?
I never wanted anyone to know I was extorted.
Why didn't you want the police to know you were extorted? What would happen if the police knew you were extorted?
They would come talk to me.
And what would happen if they came and talked to you? What did you think would happen at that point?
If they came to talk to me, if I decided to talk to them, I'd have to tell them what happened to me. And if I told them what happened to me, my life would be in danger. These people would come find me. They'd find someone in my family. I mean, they don't care.
Now, going back to the TV comment, where she says, this TV is probably about 5. Did you have code words with your mom that TV? I think they said. Did you have that sheet? What TV equals? Did TV, was it a code word?
There is absolutely no code word involving TV whatsoever.
Now, by the way, your response isn't, remember that?
I do.
Now, Ms. Cappleman, in her cross-examinations, went through how your ex-girlfriends after Katie Magbanua. You recall that?
I do.
Did any of your other ex-girlfriends become involved in a situation where you were extorted?
I only had one ex-girlfriend whose friends extorted me.
So once she brings up your ex-girlfriend, did you have a pretty good idea of what was going on?
Oh, I knew exactly what was going on at this point. Well, almost exactly what was going on.
By the way, also during this call, you again remind your mom not to say anything to your father, right?
Yes, I did.
At the end of this call, what do you decide to do?
I'm going to give Katie a call.
And why are you going to reach out to Katie?
I want to see if her friends extorting my mom that she knows of, because she sure knew what had happened to me.
We're going to now publish D, Your Honor, already in evidence.
You may.
This is a call between you and Catherine Magbanua at 4:27 p.m. on that same day, correct?
Yes.
You want to use your headphones?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Anyway, you someplace you can talk to me?
So what?
Are you any place that you can talk to me?
Just talk right now.
What's that?
Just talk right now. Just talk.
Okay, can you go somewhere that's not loud when I'm talking to you?
I can't. It's like loud, but I can't get out.
Okay, I'm trying to walk outside and talk to you right now. I can't even fucking get outside. Alright, so you better not. Alright. Somebody. Hang on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear.
Okay. I just want you to listen to me. I'll be able to talk to you in person when I see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom walked the kids. I only heard part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go down there and talk to her tomorrow to find out what's going on.
Okay.
Because she didn't want to elaborate.
Uh-huh.
But she said that someone approached her on the street.
I love the panicked tone in Charlie's voice. He's just like, my mom, someone approached her on the street. I'm just about to head down to find out what's going on. Oh, it's just what the FBI were thinking, right? Yeah, no. Donna will phone Charlie will phone Katie, and we'll listen to everything. They played right into their hands. It's so funny. Criminal mastermind. Paul Castellano. Big man Paul. Yeah, he'd be so proud.
Uh-huh.
Called her by name.
Mm-hmm.
Handed her an envelope with something in it.
Yeah.
And somebody she really wouldn't go into detail. I have no idea what this is in reference to.
Uh-huh.
But something regarding her son, something regarding his ex-girlfriend, and the person asking my mom for some money.
What?
Yeah. So I said, well, yeah. I'm like, first what she was saying, I thought it was like something involved in the IRS or a payment or something like that. So I don't even know what the fuck it's about at all.
So somebody just like bumped into your mom like that?
So they came up to her on the street after she dropped the kids off at school.
Wow.
I guess she brought them to school. I don't even know. But it must know her routine. It must know who she is.
Yeah.
They walked up to her. They called her by name. They handed her an envelope. She said they spoke to her for a few minutes. And then she said they were making reference to my ex-girlfriend, which I have no fucking clue what that's about.
Yeah.
And that they explained that they needed to be paid some money.
For what?
I mean, my mom didn't even want to talk to me on the phone. Like, well,
But like, did she see the person? Was she like, you should have like,
oh yeah,
asked her something?
that's what I said. I said, someone's going to try to blackmail you or something.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
I
You
said-
like that.
I said, you got to go straight to the police. She's like, I don't even know what this is about. I don't want to talk about it. I go, well, take a picture and send me what it is. She's like, I just want you to see the person. So I'm going to go there. I can't even fucking go there today because I won't get out of work until 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So she's like, just.
So who's like stalking your mom?
I don't even fucking know. I don't know what's going on, what my mom's involved. I mean, you didn't do anything with my mom. I mean, yeah.
Who would I do with my mom?
Let me pause it right there. You say, and I quote, I mean, you didn't do anything with my mom.
I did say that.
Asking her.
Are your friends extorting my mom that you know of? Are they up to this?
Now, during this call, you say, I have no idea what this is in reference to. Why do you say that to Katie?
I'm
Friend, but you're kind of wishy-washy. Whether
Charlie, if you want to let her know that you're not setting her up, you need to call her up and say, listen, can you pay my Brown and Brown insurance? They're not setting you up.
Why?
Because I was implying it was her, but I didn't want her to feel like I was setting her up.
You, when you say, I mean, you didn't do anything with my mom. She says, what would I do with your mom? And you say, just checking.
Yep.
Katie seems surprised on this call.
Very.
How did that make you feel?
That made me feel good. It made me feel like it wasn't her friends that were doing it. I mean, she knew when it happened last time. She definitely wasn't acting surprised.
What was your level of concern at this point in time?
It was probably medium. I mean, I was still pretty concerned. My mom didn't sound right on the phone.
Now, there's a call that occurs after this call that is not in evidence, where Katie calls you back. Do you recall what Katie wanted you to do when she called you back?
She wanted me to go down there that night to see my parents.
And did she seem very concerned?
She was extremely concerned when she called me back.
Did you go to see your mom that night?
No, I finished work probably after 10, and I went down there the next afternoon.
Okay, so let's talk about the next day. So just to be clear, the bump happens and these calls happen on April 19th, 2016, right?
Yes.
We're now at April 20th. Where did you meet your mom?
I met her in the lobby of the building.
And did you go anywhere with her?
Yeah, we went for a short walk and ended up sitting on a bench.
What time approximately did you get to Miami and see your mom?
I'd say like 1:30ish.
Okay. Why did you meet her then?
Because she wanted to wait for my dad to go to work.
Where did when you walked to this bench? It's outside of a restaurant called Monty's, right? Not far from a restaurant called Monty's.
Yeah, it's right next to Monty's, actually.
Did you notice anyone following you?
No.
As you sit here
Monty's.
today, do you know that you were being followed?
Today I do, yeah.
Okay. Now, I think State's Exhibit 54 has been put in evidence. It's a picture of you and your mom on that bench outside of Monty's. Is that a fair depiction of where you were?
Yeah, we were sitting.
There's been testimony, I think, by Special Agent Sanford that you and your mom were whispering or trying not to be heard. Is that testimony true?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted some privacy for sure.
And how was your mom acting?
She was very scared.
What did she tell you?
Well, she told me that she went to go pick the boys up from school, and that this really big guy came over to her and said that you've been helping out Katie and Tuto, and my brother Tato is going through a hard time, and he's incarcerated, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, my brother Taco. My brother Taco. He said he wanted a soft shell, and then he wanted a hard shell, and then he did a favor for my brother in Broward, and he told me everything.
Favor for you, and you need to do what's right. You need to take care of my brother Tato. My mom was like, I don't know what you're talking about. The guy handed her a copy of an article, and it had $5,000 written on it, and it also had a cell phone written on it.
At this point in time, did you have any clue whatsoever who Tato was?
No, I've never heard of Tato in my life.
Okay, so let me make sure that we're all on the same page. You knew who Tuto was, right?
Tuto is Sigfredo Garcia.
But you had no idea of anyone named Tato or Luis Rivera, correct?
Never heard of that name before.
Okay. Did your mom show you the paper that was given to her?
Yes, she did.
Do you recall if you took the paper with you or whether you wrote down the phone number from the paper?
I don't know whether I took the paper with me or I just took a piece of paper and wrote the phone number down to the paper. One of the two, but I did have the number with me when I left.
Okay. Now, at this point in time, when you're meeting with your mom, what was she concerned about?
I mean, she was concerned that she was going to get hurt, and that they were going to hurt her, and then someone else in the family was going to pay. And she wanted to go to the police.
What did you tell your mom in response? What was your theory at this point in time?
I was telling my mom this is so different than what happened to me. I said explosive fight, and I always suspected that it was him, and that he's now extorting my mom. And so I thought it could be that. That scared my mom a lot. But then I said, you know what, this is probably the police. I said, it's, you know, they're not telling you 48 hours or you're going to get killed. They're not hiding who they are for the first, you know, even at that point, I only suspected Sigfredo. This guy's not even hiding who he is. He's not wearing a hat. He's not wearing glasses. He's not trying to conceal himself. You know, the first time I wasn't given a cell phone number. This time they're giving cell phone numbers. They're giving names. They're giving all this information. I'm like, Mom, I think this is the police.
What did you tell your mom you were going to do?
I told her that I was going to go ahead and go talk to Katie and see if she thinks.
I said Brown Insurance, and then, you know, not tell Dad about Brown and Brown, and then move on. You know, just move right on. Move right on. You know, talk to Katie, pay Brown and Brown, don't tell Dad.
That this is possibly, if this is Sigfredo, who I was suspected, and if it is, see if she could get him to stop.
Now, Did your mom during this meeting tell you anything about your dad?
Yeah.
What did she say?
She was really worried that her safety was an issue now, and my dad's with her all the time, and she's like, "Look, I know you don't want me to say anything to Dad, but I have to say something to him. Like this has gone too far. I can't not." So I told her, I said, "If you tell him, you got to promise not to say anything to Wendy. Please."
Oh, thank you, Victoria Girl, for that fantastic super chat. No goals on the channel tonight, guys, because we know that we're doing a full week of Adelson week. We've got more to come. More to come in a much more organised way with better internet signal. So don't panic. Don't panic. You know, if you've been losing the stream tonight, it's just because we're in this fucking building. But tomorrow, we'll be back with our antenna. With our giant antenna in the $1 million Metrix studio. Coming at you live from, well, I don't even know where we'll be. In a brand new place. In an ancient place. But we'll be coming at you live tomorrow with fantastic streams, Adelson streams, full week. We're gonna, just the whole, maybe we're gonna do 8 days straight. How about that? The rest of January. We're just Adelson everything. We're gonna be putting out some polls, so keep an eye on the Discord. Keep an eye on YouTube. Because we want to know what people want to see. There's so many characters. There's so many actors in this case. We've got Charlie, Wendy, Donna, Dan Rashbaum, Dan Markel, Jeff Lacasse, Junum Chinder, Judge Everett, Judge Wheeler, Judge Henriksen, Hendrickson? I always get a bit confused with his name. Georgia, Sarah, Isom, General Isom, from the Mud Pie competition. Who else have we got? We've got Mr. Buff. I think at the end of it, we're going to do Wendy's interview. Should we do the whole thing or bits and pieces? Who else have we got? We've got Tamara Dempko. Let's go back to Tamara. I think we should do a mashup show. One of the days we're going to do a mashup show invested in the humanity of this case, right? They came forward. They gave information to law enforcement way more than anyone else. There is no way that without Tamara's statements and Jeff's statements that law enforcement would have been, I know it's taken a long time. We're 10, 11 years into the case already, 10 and a half years into the case, and, we're still not at 100% justice, are we? But where would we be now without Tamara and Jeff that just gave the police such fantastic insight? True heroes of the case, both of them, equally. Tamara had fantastic insight to Dan Markel and Wendy and their relationship. Jeff was more focused on Wendy, right? And the fact that he was probably, yes, set up as a patsy to take the fall for the killing and all the rest of it. Jane McPherson. We're going to be covering Wendy's television interviews, maybe a little bit of her book, which we have in the Metrix studio, which is a piece of shit, but maybe we'll read chapter 1. We've also got a bunch of wiretaps that have never been released to the public. We're going to be posting those up. It's just, forget Adelson Week. We could do a whole year of this and it would never get bored. It would never get old. We would never get bored. It would never get old. Never. It's a fantastic case. One of the best, one of our main cases on the channel. It's just so great to have you all here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and enjoy the week.
Do not let them go to the police. Like this is you're gonna put my life at risk. You're gonna put your life at risk. Like, let me just figure out if Katie could get these people to stop if she's related to them somehow, and identify them and get them to stop.
Why were you so adamant that she not tell Wendy?
I thought Wendy would go to the police, and I thought my dad would too, but my mom swore that she'd be able to get him not to go.
What did you tell your mom about what you would do with your dad after she told him?
I said, after you tell Dad what's going on, I said, I'll be happy to have him come over to my house, or I'll meet him. I'm sure he's going to have a whole bunch of questions, and I'll talk to Dad tomorrow.
Now, after you left your mom, what did you do next?
I left, and then I drove up to see Katie. She was probably working she was working for a real estate company, and it was about 15 minutes away from my parents' place.
And I think we heard the calls. I'm not going to play them again. Did you call her to find out the address and where to meet her?
I got the address, and then I called her again as I was pulling into the plaza because I'd never been there before, and she walked out of the office that she was working at.
Okay. Now, when you got to her, by the way, where she was working, was it in a strip mall?
Yes.
Okay. When you got there, where was she?
She was standing in front of the I think it was Optimar Realty. She had just come outside. She walked over to the car. I pulled up into a parking spot. She walked over to the car. I wanted to talk to her, so I said, hop in the car. I need to talk to you.
Now, did you know that you were being followed?
No, not at all.
When she got in the car, what did you learn and what happened?
Well, she asked me what happened to my mom. I told her, and I said, do you think this is T? I said, well, I said, was T behind what happened to me? And she looked at me. She said, yes.
And what did you ask her about the information your mom had received when she was approached on the street?
I asked her if she thought that this was T. Do you think he's doing this to my mom? Because you guys are fighting. Like now that my mom's getting extorted and she's having a fight with him, I'm suspecting that it's him.
Do you bring up the name Tato?
Yes.
What happened when you brought up the name Tato?
I said, have you ever heard of some guy Tato? Like, I thought it was a joke that there's a Tuto and a Tato. Like, have you ever heard of Tato? And she started talking.
What did she say?
She said, yeah, I know Tato. Tato is Tuto's best friend. And she said he's a bad dude. He's the head of the Latin Kings. She said they went up to Tallahassee, and he's the one who rented a car, and he's the one who did this to Dan. And off my head's like, I'm freaking out because this is the guy that's now extorting my mom. And I'm like, Katie, is this guy incarcerated? Like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, does he have brothers? She said he's got 4 or 5 brothers, but he's got a couple hundred brothers in the Latin Kings in Miami.
Let's stop there for a second. So why did you ask her if he was incarcerated?
Because the guy who came up to my mom said, my brother Tato is incarcerated. He's going through a hard time. And he needs your help. You need to take care of him the way you're taking care of Katie and Tuto.
Now, when Katie is telling you that there is a Tato, that he's the head of the Latin Kings, that he's incarcerated, and you know he has brothers, what starts going through your mind?
Holy shit, this is real. Like this is real extortion, and it's happening again.
What does Katie tell you about what happened in Tallahassee and who did what?
She told me that T was high on drugs, and got fast food. And
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second just to make it clear to the jury. I'm going to ask you, I know she used their nicknames.
Yeah.
Okay? Make that clear. But for the purposes of today, let's use their names so that there's no confusion. Okay?
So
I understand in the car she used nicknames, either Tato, Tuto, or T. But just for the purposes of today, use their names.
Sure.
Okay? What did she tell you about who did what in Tallahassee?
She said that Sigafredo was high on drugs at the hotel, and that Luis Rivera was the one who shot Dan.
Now, did she tell you that Tato was also behind your extortion? Or no?
She said that Sigfredo brought him to go do this, and that it was he got paid, but it was the extorter was Sigfredo.
Did she describe to you, you said she described to you about a rental car. Did she describe to you anything about the payments the next day?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
She said when she brought the money, she met up with them, and she gave the money to Sigfredo and him, and that she didn't touch any of it, and that she didn't take a single dime for herself or anything like that.
Now, when you're hearing this in the car, by the way, how long do you think you were in the car for?
10 to 15 minutes, probably closer to 10.
How are you feeling, and what do you now want to do when you're in the car? You've just told your mom that you think it's the police, that it's all going to be okay. Now you've heard at this point in time.
I'm freaking out because I thought it was Sigfredo. Then I'm hearing all this stuff about this guy Tato, his name is Luis Rivera. Everything seeming
It's
real.
Taco,
I was extorted. Now my mom's getting extorted. Katie's telling me she doesn't think it's Tato or his people. He wouldn't do it like this. He would have done it the way it happened to me. She's telling me that she thinks it's a copycat of one of Tato's, someone who knows Tato and is doing a copycat on him and doing their own extortion, or it's probably she thinks it's the police.
Okay. Now, how is she acting in the car?
She's upset. She's very upset.
And you've told her that they used her name, correct?
Yes.
What do you decide to do after she tells you this bombshell information?
Well, I mean, I had more questions than answers when I got done talking to her in the car. I was more confused than ever. And I had told my mom I'm going to talk to Katie and see if her friend is behind this and if she can get him to stop. And now it's like open the door to all these other possibilities and scenarios of what.
Wow, we got super low numbers tonight. I think it's this 7 people in the stream. Really? That must be the signal, right? That's low. That's bad. Tomorrow we're gonna have better signal, guys. Sorry about if it's glitching. I tried putting the phone by the window, by the front door, and it's shit. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get on tonight because I promised Adelson week, and
what it could be and what to do. So Katie was the only person on the planet that I could talk to about this and see what are we supposed to do.
Now, we know you like to talk. How about when you're scared and trying to figure things out?
I mean, I was freaking out. And I'm trying to figure things out by talking out different scenarios out loud, thinking if it's this, we do this, or if we do this, what'll happen, or if we do this, what'll happen. And that's why it's a lot of it's very jumbled up because I'm all over the place.
Okay.
yes, just jumbled.
So you decide to go inside and get coffee. Katie agrees with you, and is that when you go into the restaurant called, and I always I pronounce it wrong, Your Honor, I'm sorry, Dolce Vita?
Yes, it is.
Okay. When you went into the restaurant, who did you think was behind it? Well, let me start by saying something else. You seen the audio of you in that restaurant, right, with Katie?
Yes.
before that audio started, had you met with Katie in the restaurant for about 20 or 30 minutes?
We've been in there about a half hour talking.
So that audio doesn't capture anything in the beginning of your conversation, right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the beginning of the conversation. Obviously, it's many years ago. You're not going to remember word for word what was said. But generally, what was Katie telling you, and what were you telling Katie?
Katie was saying that it's the police. And I didn't care if it was the police. I was there because it was a bad guy. So I'm trying to figure out, like, is my family really in danger, and what should we do? And if they are in danger, what should we do?
Did you know that law enforcement, at some point in the conversation, started to record you?
No, I thought we were alone.
Now, your conversation with Katie in the restaurant, how were you talking? Were you talking freely or carefully?
No, I always spoke to Katie carefully.
Why was it so important for you to talk carefully to Katie in this restaurant?
Whenever I spoke to Katie, I needed her help. So I never wanted her to feel like I was trying to set her up or set her friends up, and in that regard. So every time I said something or phrased something, I was always really careful in how I spoke to her.
And again, at this point...
Yeah, Victoria, I don't know why Rashbaum has this thing. I mean, how is that your thing? To mispronounce many words. It's not just when he says Dolce Vita. How does he say it? What does he say? Dolce Vitae.
Point in time, did you have any clue whatsoever that Katie was part of the extortion of you?
No, I did not think she was ever a part of it.
Now, the first thing that is caught on the recording is if they had any evidence, we would have already gone to the airport. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
What were you
Christina,
saying here, and what was it in context to?
Christina, that's why we love you. That's good one. I like that a lot.
Had been said before.
Okay, directly before that, Katie was talking about it being the police, and that she thinks, like, we're innocent. They're not going to have any evidence. Like, if we had anything to do with this, I'd be going to the airport right now. What you're saying is that it's the police. Like,
if we had anything, I said if we had anything to do with it, which we didn't. And if we would have maybe, perhaps, gone to the airport, possibly, if we had anything to do with it, but we didn't, so we're not.
they're not going to have evidence to show that we did something that we didn't do.
You see, this is where, all the game... Oh, hello. Amy bought 5 coffees. Thank you so much, Amy. I think that's our first coffee of the night, guys, right? Yeah. Probably because it's such a shitty stream and it's kicking everyone out. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just not much I can do about it. Tomorrow we're going to be much better signal, believe me. Yeah, thank you, Amy. What was I saying? Something.
Charlie, without getting into all the details that I did with Agent Sanford, this communication at Dolce Vita happened in 2016. You were arrested in 2022. When did you know that the state thought that you had participated in the murder of Professor Markel?
When the probable cause affidavit was released.
And when was that affidavit released approximately?
I think it was leaked to the media, and I saw it in August of 2016.
Did you ever try to flee the country
Never.
after August 2016?
Never.
Why not?
Because I wasn't part of a murder. They weren't going to have any evidence to show I was part of a murder.
Now, you say during Dolce Vitae. One second, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Lost my spot.
Oh, thank you, Christina, for letting us know. Let me move the microphone closer. The volume is lower on the voice. How about that? Is that better? I think that's okay.
Is Dolce Vitae a bit of an argument between you and Katie?
Testing. 1, 2, testing.
Yeah, you could say that.
And what is the argument about?
She's taking the position that it's the police, and you can't pay the police. And I wasn't as focused on the police as I was focused.
That'd be a good position, right, Charlie? Because it was the police. You know, she's taking the position, the stupid position, that it would be the police that are looking into to us for something that we didn't do. And I was trying to say that I'm not setting you up, and you know, I wanted to keep her happy, so I started giving her all of these gifts. You know, I gave her a car, I gave her a cruise, I gave her $1,000 a month, a job at the office that she didn't have to do anything for, and you know, Sigfredo, I got him. What did he get him? Like some weed, but also like a GoPro or something. I mean, that's the level that you're fucking playing at. A fucking $200 camera that you can get from Best Buy. You know, like, oh yeah. Give Sigfredo this GoPro so that he can ride around in his Chevrolet Monte Carlo, filming himself.
Focus on, well, if it's a bad guy, what do we do? Like, we can't go to the police.
Why were you not focused on it being the police?
Because I didn't do a murder. I wasn't worried if it was the police.
Now,
by the way, guys, I think I might start doing some road videos, because sometimes, you know, here in the Portuguese hills, I just take a drive because it's so fucking beautiful to drive around. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I just drove around and did like a dash cam and just spoke about cases? You know, I mean, maybe that would be fun. I might try it. I might see if that works for something. I don't know. It would just be nice to share with y'all some of the things I see every day. But, you know, in the context of crime, we can talk about cases while we're doing it. We could talk about Russell Williams. We could talk about Laurie Daybell. Well, no, I don't want to talk about her. That's just one of the cases that I don't like. We could talk about Charlie Adelson. We could talk about anything. Anything.
if it was a bad guy, what did you want her to do? What did you want Katie to do?
I wanted her to reach out to them and see if she could get them to stop. You know, maybe threaten them. Maybe she could pay them.
Oh, Gwen, and yeah, no, I think it's worth a try. You know, obviously the main viewers come to see the cases we cover, but you know, we could cover cases, but with just a different backdrop. It might be cool to cut in. I mean, seriously, today I almost pulled over just to take a photo because I was like, oh, look. The followers of True Crime Metrix would think this picture would be really cool, but I didn't bother. It was like, ugh, it was just about to rain. But it was one of those moments where it was raining where I was, but I was looking out at these hills, and the sun was on the hills, but it was mixed up with that atmospheric thing about an impending storm. Do you know what I mean? When there's dark clouds in the distance, but the foreground is like really bright and sunny. I always love that in photography. Anyway.
Maybe she could tell him she's going to pay him. It's a one-time thing. I want to see if she could identify them. I want to see if she could identify them and get them to stop.
Why did you want her to do that as opposed to you doing that?
She knew who the original people were. She knew Sigfredo. She knew this guy, Luis Rivera. And she'd be the only person who'd be able to identify them and get them to stop, and maybe they'd be afraid of her.
Now, throughout this recording...
Yeah. Luis Rivera was always terrified of Katie Magbanowa. Yeah, right.
Several times, you try to sound tough. Is that the case?
Absolutely.
You say, I carry a gun on me. Right?
Yes, I said that.
Who are they going to believe? A dead gang member in my driveway when he comes around and is a dead gang member? Or a doctor? Who are they going to believe? I can't wait till we get to George's Cross. Should we just skip to George's Cross? We've got like another fucking 3 hours of this clown here. But it's important, isn't it? For context.
I mean, someone comes up to me. If someone comes up to me, they'd better be ready to shoot because I'm going to shoot them. Someone come up to me asking for money in my house. When the fucking police show up and there's a doctor, there's an oral surgeon standing there with a dead gang member in his fucking driveway, they're not going to come down too hard on me. We'll take a break right there. Why are you talking tough?
I want to let her know, like, I've had enough. Like, and they're messing with my mom. They mess with me. Like, I've literally just had enough, and I'm trying to send that message.
Why do you bring up a gang member?
Because 45 minutes earlier, when I was sitting in the car with Katie, she told me that Luis Rivera was the head of the Latin Kings, and that's who the second extortion was a Latin King gang member. My parents. Which was actually the FBI, but it was...
Immediately after you say those lines, though, you say, and I'm not going to talk anyway. Why do you say that? You're being tough, and then you say, and I'm not going to talk anyway. Yeah. Why do you say that?
Because I didn't want to scare her into thinking that I'm some kind of loose end, that at any point was I going to the police. I was making it clear that at no point I was going to the police.
You then say, Katie, this is not like some chick showing tattoos to your man. What are you talking about here?
That was in reference to their explosive fight that sent her and Sigfredo in opposite directions.
Thanks so much, Christina, for that beautiful cup of coffee. Much appreciated.
I was thinking that he was behind what had happened to my mom. I thought he was just sending...
What had happened to me? What had happened to my mom? Was T behind what happened to me? Because Taco, he was with Taco up in Broward, and he told my mom what happened to me. Oh my God! I cannot wait to eat a taco in Miami, man. I am gonna Instagram the shit out of that taco restaurant, like. Yeah, sign up. Link in the description. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Leave a comment. Buymeacoffee.com to support the channel. Help with our Tallahassee fund. Yeah, tomorrow. Well, maybe not tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow? Friday? Okay, next week. Monday. Definitely Monday. We're going to be confirming our visa status for travel to the US. And hopefully it just goes straight through. If not, I'm going to book an appointment for the US Embassy in Lisbon. We've got to get there. And it's coming quick, man. What was it? Riding Shotgun put up the number of days. I was thinking it was like, 6 months away. That's like half a year. In actual fact, it's 130 days or something. It's nothing. Less, actually. Oh, whatever it is. It's not much more than 100 days away. And True Crime Metrix has got to fly from Lisbon to Tallahassee. I think I've found a place where I can leave Soap, and she'll be chilling out with 4 boxers that she loves. But there's a really old boxer called Coffee, and Soap likes to hassle him. And Coffee's just too old for that shit, man. But he's just so good looking, you know? Soap's like, oh yeah, give me some of your shit. Let me smell your balls, you know? And yeah, so we've got to iron out those problems. But I think there's a good, safe place for Soap to stay for a couple of weeks. You know, where she will be looked after and she'll be fine. And that's better than leaving her in a hotel. I have left her in a hotel before, a dog hotel. But not for 2 weeks, for a few days. I think it was maybe 4 days. And I think most of the time they're just put in a fucking room, you know? Oh, thanks so much, Mary, for those 2 coffees. You're funny as hell. Thanks for making me spit out my coffee. Well, you can spit it right into my cup. Both my cups. Thanks, Mary, for those 2 coffees.
A third party to collect.
And what are you trying to tell Katie to do?
I'm telling her to call this person and to contact them and see if she can get them to stop.
Now, you then say, they're not going away. I may wish they'd go away, but they're not going away. And then there's a bunch of unintelligibles, and there's a line that says, that you say, well, with a beard or a badge. Do you have any idea what you were talking about there?
I think we were talking about, is it a police officer or a bad guy?
And again, well, who would be the beard?
The beard would be a bad guy.
And who, again, was Katie trying to convince you it was?
She was trying to convince me it's the police.
Now, we've seen this conversation live, although we can't hear all of it. Are you doing more of the talking or more of the listening?
I'm doing the thinking out loud and talking.
You're not really listening to...
I like to talk a lot. Oh, for one, I like to talk a lot. So, you know, all of the incriminating things I said, that's just because I like to talk a lot, you know. I said to everyone who will listen, I said, yeah, I was going to get her a TV as a divorce present, whatever that is, because it was cheaper than a Hitman. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
To her at all, right?
No.
You again say, listen, if a badge comes up to you, tell them, have a nice day, officer. And she says, yeah, no, perfect. You say, if not, I don't talk to cops. Sorry. And she says, yeah, no, perfect. What are you saying to Katie here?
I'm reassuring her that I'm keeping my mouth shut and I'm not going to the police and I'm not trying to set her up. But I wanted her to see if maybe make a payment.
Now, you say this person is not, this is after her long...
About my payment to her with the checks. They know about the payment.
You then go on a bunch of long discussions about DNA in a rental car. Why do you bring up a rental car?
Because 40 minutes earlier, I was sitting in a car with her and she was telling me that Luis Rivera rented a car.
And during these long discussions, you're talking about how you don't really know anything. You, Charlie, doesn't really know anything. Why are you telling her repeatedly that you don't know anything?
I'm trying to reassure her that I'm harmless and that I don't have any real knowledge of what went on. and that, you know, I'm not some loose end that you guys need to go try to clean up.
Now, you then say, they said the guy's name was Tuto. I don't even know who the fuck it is. Did you?
I knew who Tuto was.
Was this you confusing the names Tuto and Tato?
That's exactly what it was. I was getting the names mixed up.
And she asks you to describe what he looked like, right?
Yes.
And you say, some of it's unintelligible, but you say, well-spoken, like polite. She goes, polite and well-spoken. I said, did he act thug, or did he talk with like a thick Spanish accent or anything? She said no. I said, was he white or Hispanic? She said he was white, but he could have been Hispanic. Why were these facts important to you and Katie?
Because I was comparing the original extortion that I had to...
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, no, what I was doing was I was comparing the original extortion that I had to my mother's non-extortion, which put my extortion in first place. And then... should we just skip to George's Cross? I don't know. This kind of just goes on and on with this. We've seen it now, right? I think I'm going to skip to George's Cross. Is it too early to do that? Let's give it 10 more minutes.
The person that's extorting my mom to see if they fit the description.
And she says, so recognizable, and you say with no glasses, no hat, very well dressed. And she says, well dressed? As you're talking about this, what are the both of you trying to figure out?
We're trying to figure out, is this related to, is this real extortion or is this the police?
And what is Katie telling you of why she doesn't think this is real extortion and why she thinks it's the police?
Because of how it's being done, and these people wouldn't do it this way. But it still opened up the door to her where she said it could be a copycat and somebody just trying to piggyback the extortion and make it their own.
Yeah, piggyback. He was going on about that with his dentistry. He was like, yeah, no, when I was doing my residency, I would moonlight, 2 different jobs, just regular dentistry while I was doing my periodontical studies. And then I would piggyback. I would piggyback on the back of other dentist offices, and, you know, I would just piggyback through the moonlight. It's like... this guy. And again, I think those phrases are things he's picked up from Harvey. The same as roughed up, right? Charlie's just one of those guys that lives in the shadow of his father. And that happens. Until it stops happening. And then you don't do it anymore. But he never stopped, right? All these phrases, piggyback, moonlight, roughed up, those are all, I guarantee you, 100%. I've never heard Harvey say any of them. But I know that he's got them from Harvey, right? Because Charlie almost became Donna's husband in a lot of ways, right? Third parent to Wendy. Strange relationship with his mother. I mean, we don't need to look too far into the calls to hear how strange his relationship was with his mother. And what is that? Is he impersonating his father as the position, of husband, basically. Piggyback through the moonlight and rough up whatever. There are others as well. We'll keep an eye out for them and let you know.
Now, you say to her every time she's telling you it's the police.
Yeah, Neverly Darling says skip. We're skipping. Let's go to Georgia.
Mr. Adelson, is it doctor?
It is.
Is it doctor? It's doctor, right?
All right, doctor. Have you ever heard the saying that the simplest explanation is always the most likely? Have you heard that?
I've heard that theory before, yeah.
Was your explanation to the...
Just look at her. I mean, what a lady. What a lady. Amazing woman. Yeah, what can I say about Georgia Cappleman? She takes a lot of beating.
The jury over the last little over a day? The simplest explanation?
It was the truth.
Do you... I mean, you have a thorough explanation. Would you agree with that?
I told you what happened.
Do you agree that the only
truth.
problem with having an explanation for everything is that there's just so many explanations?
There's no explanation. I explained what happened.
There's no explanation. I explained what happened. Oh, these are the people that thought they were smarter than everyone else, and then they come on the stand and they say things like, there's no explanation, I explained what happened. Just think about that for a moment, okay? It's like Dan Rashbaum with his, was the litigation very litigious?
I'm going to go through some of that. You claim that you were extorted on July 18th, 2014 by Catherine Magbanua and also in the background some Latin kings, probably Garcia and Rivera, right? Is that accurate?
No, I wasn't extorted by Catherine Magbanua.
You weren't?
That's not what I believed in 2014.
Okay, I'm sorry. I understood you to say you believe that today.
Today I do, yes.
All right, so who extorted you?
I believe that it was Catherine Magbanua's friend that she ran her mouth to.
Okay.
And that's
at
2014.
Right, but as you sit here today, you think it's Magbanua, Garcia, and Rivera. Is that accurate?
No, that's not accurate.
Okay. Who extorted you?
As I sit here today, I believe that it was Catherine Magbanua, and I believe Sigfredo Garcia, but I don't know for sure. I was never there when she was ever talking to him, so I don't know if he was in on it with her or not.
All right. At the time, though, you did not think she was guilty. You got that right. The time of the extortion.
In 2014?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. And then so exactly when you found out would be, I think you said, her trial.
That I suspected that she was not telling me the truth and she was a part of it was in 2019.
At her trial?
Yes.
All right. And so she was arrested in 2016, right? Right. So for 3 years, she was in the Leon County Jail, awaiting trial. Yes. Jail, awaiting trial. Yes.
She was there.
And you believed she was innocent.
Yes.
And you had this whole explanation to assist with exonerating her, right?
I have the truth of what happened, yes.
But you didn't offer the truth of what happened, did you?
Nobody came to me. I thought the truth would come out.
Does someone have to come to you?
I was told not to talk to Katie and not to talk to anybody about this case by counsel.
Okay. So you strike that. On day one, which is July 18th, 2014, she is the only one that physically contacted you to conduct this extortion. Am I correct in that?
Yes, you are.
So you never actually had any contact with any Latin King?
No.
No phone calls?
No phone calls.
No texts?
No.
No letters?
Well, in 2016, you're talking about in 14, right?
I'm talking about the first layer of the extortion. Did you have any contact with the thugs that were getting your money for 2 years?
No.
Did anybody put a gun to your head?
I was told that I would be killed in 48 hours if I didn't pay up.
I heard you say that, but my question is, did anyone put a gun to your head?
You're asking me, did anyone pull a gun on me?
That's what
Is
I
that
asked
your
you.
question? No, nobody pulled a firearm on me.
All right, so when Catherine Magbanua came to you on July 18th and said, open the safe and give me all your money, she was not armed.
She was not carrying a gun that day,
And
no.
were you armed at that time? Did you have a weapon in your home?
I had weapons in my safe, yes.
Were you led? The bad guys are outside, right outside your apartment or your residence?
No, but I was led to believe what they did to Dan, they were going to do to me.
I heard you say that, but my question is,
was
did you say like the cars run?
was T behind what happened to me? What they did to Dan, they would do to me. And what they did to me, they could also do to my mom. And my mom would do to me what T did to me and did to Dan.
Exit your house with your $138,000 until the next.
Uh-oh, we've gone down to 0 kilobytes again. Look, it's fucked, okay? Forget about this stream. This is a nothing stream. And tomorrow we're going to be so on the case, believe me. Believe me. Come back tomorrow, guys.
Day, right?
I think we'll start George's Cross from the get-go again tomorrow. So if you're having glitch problems, don't worry. Sign out, watch something else with better bandwidth, and come back tomorrow because we're doing the whole Georgia Cross tomorrow. I think it's only a couple of hours, so we should be able to do it in one show. You know, Dan Rashbaum went on for fucking 1.5 days with Charlie on the stand. But Georgia got it done quick, efficiently, because that's what she does, right? Because she's Georgia Cappleman.
Correct.
And the money, the $138,000, was that stapled into $1,000 increments?
Each packet was $1,000, and had a staple in it.
And stapling money's a little unusual. Would you agree with that?
For me, it wasn't unusual. That's what.
Nobody else does it. That's why I'm suggesting it's unusual.
I've never questioned people into how they keep their money, whether they keep.
I've never questioned people into how they keep their money. Well, have you ever seen it in a film? You know, because I remember seeing the movie Macau with Robert Mitchum, where he was ironing his money. And I remember when I was like, I don't know, maybe 12, I got a bunch of like £5 notes for my birthday one year. It was the first time that like people had put money in the birthday cards. And I was like, I'm going to iron the money. It was like maybe 5 or 6 £5 notes, and I thought I was fucking rich, right? And I thought, hey, I'm gonna iron the money and make it really flat. Just like Robert Mitchum did in Macau. I think it was Macau. Yeah. You see, that was a strange practice, and I knew that then as a 12-year-old. But I was able to reference where I got the idea. From Macau. He's like, well, I never questioned people how they kept their money. I didn't know if stapling was normal or average or weird or what. Fuck off, son.
Keep it with a staple or a paper clip or an envelope. I just know what I do.
Would you agree doctor, that it's a compelling piece of evidence that the killers were paid in stapled money and came up with that information in this case?
It's not compelling. The people who extorted me and got my money got it from my house, and it was stapled at my house.
They had to have gotten it from you, right? Because it was stapled.
If they got it from Katie, they got it from me.
So it had to be some kind of, I paid, but I did it under duress, based on that piece of evidence, right? That had to be built into your defense.
I was extorted, and I paid the money.
All right, so Katie comes in and she's in a panic, and she tells you what's happened. And I need all the money in your safe right now. Do you suspect that maybe she's working with the police at that point? Maybe she's trying to set you up?
No, she didn't say I need all the money in your safe. That's not what she said.
Did she take all the money in your safe?
I cleaned out all the money in my safe and handed it to her.
Right. Why did you do that?
Because I was being extorted for $333,000.
But why didn't you? The bump was only $5,000, and you immediately became suspicious and questioning and had all these conversations and deliberations about what to do about it for days. When Katie comes to you, you just open the safe and give her the money, right?
That's what I did, and there's a big difference between the two.
Okay, well, the way that it was done to you, is that the way it's done?
You have to be more specific, please.
Well, on the wire, you say repeatedly, that's not the way it's done. You knew that the undercover agent was law enforcement, or at least strongly suspected, because that's not the way it's done. And my question to you is, since you're an expert on extortion, because you've been extorted before and that's not the way it's done, is this the way it's done? Do extortionists send a girlfriend of their victim to collect their extortion money? Is that the way it's done, doctor?
I'm telling you what happened to me, and I was told that if I didn't pay in 48 hours, I would be killed. The person that came and extorted my mom, was not the same approach as what happened to me.
Is that the only way? That's the only way it's done? They send the girlfriend?
No, seriously, I think that's about 45 times he's said that phrase already, right? What happened to me? Was T behind what happened to me? What happened to you, doctor?
It's the only time I've ever been extorted like that.
Okay. And did you hear any of the negotiate? So they come in and they say, strike. They come in and they say, we need $333,000.
You need to pay $333,000.
You need to pay $333,000.
Yeah, the Latin kings said, we could ask for $1 million, but we understood when Katie ran her mouth that he was only going to pay a third. So we won't push it. We'll just ask him for his share and then threaten his mother.
Why not $1 million?
Because when I had told to Katie that the $1 million offer for Dan Markel, I said I was going to pay $333,000. And when she asked me, do you have that much money? And I said, yeah, I could pay it in cash. So she took it as I had cash, and she knew I had a ton of cash in my safe. So she thought I had the cash. I didn't have all that cash. So that's where I'm assuming they got the $333,000 from.
But the offer that she bragged about was $1 million offer, isn't that right? That she ran her mouth about.
I was never there when she spoke to her friend.
Okay, was it $1 million offer?
The offer was that $1 million was going to be paid, and I was going to pay $333,000.
And weren't you going to cover Wendy's third as well?
No, not at all. I was going to cover my third.
Didn't your lawyer say in an opening statement that you were going to cover the whole thing? Or Wendy's third?
No, I was sitting here. I heard what he said. Charlie was going to pay $333,000.
You didn't have the amount of money that was being demanded at the time, right?
No, I only had what I had.
All right. And at that point, the blackmailer, Catherine Magbanowa, negotiates some type of layaway plan for you to complete the extortion with the Latin kings?
Okay. Katie wasn't the blackmailer. And Katie wasn't the one who was
I love what
me.
George is doing here.
Didn't you just tell this jury?
George has just got this tone, right? Just like, what? And then Katie said that you were going to extort the blackmailer to the Latin kings? Like, what? like, just total, like, what are you talking about? What you're saying makes no sense. And she's just doing all the jury right now are listening to Georgia Cappleman and going, they're just totally behind her. 100%.
That Katie was the blackmailer. You realized it in 2019.
I had thought that when you were just talking, you were talking about 2014. You were talking about that night. That night happened in 2014.
Okay. We all know now, because you have revealed the puzzle piece. She's a blackmailer. Can we agree on that?
I believe, sitting here in 2023, that she was in on it.
Yes. I love her frustration when he's trying to, like, I believe right now, sitting here in 2023, she's just like, yes, get your lies out. I know. When T was behind what happened to me, sitting here in 2023, I believe that Katie was the blackmailer. But before then, I wanted to keep her happy because the extortion never went up and Katie was always broke.
Extortion, for sure.
Yes. So is it okay if I refer to her as a blackmailer?
I think there's a difference between blackmail and extortion.
I think it's important for any defendant that wants to take the stand that they watch this, right? If I was a defendant and I felt really confident and I was like, yeah, I need to take the stand to get my, my attorneys, we've prepped, we're going to go through the whole story and we're going to tell our side and we're going to get it across the jury. I'm going to have a chance to show my fantastic personality and everything like that. And then Georgia comes, right? And then Georgia comes. And if I saw this, even if I was in a position of like having super bravado, confidence, everything, I'd be like, ooh, that looks bad. That looks really bad and tough. And I don't know if I can handle that. This should be shown. If you're a lawyer out there right now and your client is insisting to go on the stand like Ali Abulaban, what if Ali Abulaban had seen this testimony with George's cross? Would he go, ooh, well, no, okay, I'm not going to take the stand. I got to do that? I'm not going to take the stand.
Yeah,
okay.
Sitting here today, we can. Sure.
We'll refer to her as an extortionist. So, this...
Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay, just got home. Yes, Metrix. Okay, Spacey, listen. Me and the moderators have been talking, and we think you should become a moderator. You have more than earned your stripes. You're a fucking great person in Discord. You're a great person, contributor, everything. You've got knowledge. You've got power. We want you to be a moderator. Will you be a moderator? Can I make you a moderator right now? And, there's no pressure. There's no, like, added responsibilities. But we just thought we all agreed that it would be a nice offer to you to acknowledge how important you are to us. You will have special privileges in chat, obviously. You'll have the wrench icon, very nice. And you will have access to the Discord back office. How about it, Spacey? Just give me a yes, and I'll make you a moderator right now. Everyone say, welcome to our moderator, Spacey Dove.
By negotiating with the Latin Kings for you to get on a payment plan for the extortion. Isn't that what happened?
What you're doing is you're taking what we know in 2003 and trying to say, this is what I knew in 2014.
Did she put you on a payment plan?
Yes, she said, because I didn't have the money, she said, asked me if I could pay $3,000 a month in 2014, and I said, yes, I can.
Did you hear any of the conversation where she was making these negotiations?
No, you don't have to be a grown-up, Spacey Dove. Just say it exactly as you are. It's, yeah, but basically it's just a nice wrench next to your name. I know you're already a member and you've got that beautiful blue star, but, how about a wrench as well?
On your behalf.
I'm doing it. I'm making you a moderator right now, whether you like it or not. How about that? No choice.
No, when she said, I'm going to go check with my friend and if that's okay with him, she took her purse, took her keys, took her cell phone, she walked out of my front door, closed the door behind her, and I sat in my living room, and she came back about 5 minutes later.
You didn't want to talk to the guy yourself?
No, I didn't even think of that. I mean, but she went outside to call him.
She left with your money, right?
She left about 8:30 the next morning.
That's July 19th, 2014.
Correct.
Let's talk about what you did that day. You did not report this to the police because you were in fear, correct?
Absolutely.
And you didn't report this to Wendy, even though, according to you, her life was in danger too, correct?
Potentially, but I planned on paying the extortion every month.
All right, but you did go to the gym that morning, right? Could we show that text, please? Were you able to go to the gym the next morning?
I absolutely didn't leave the house. I worked it out at Nova Southeastern Gym, and you can check the gym records. I was never there.
Yeah, you can check the gym records.
Did you say you were going to the gym?
I said I was.
How many years is it?
Go.
No, I didn't leave the house.
It's 2023. He's referring to something that happened in 2014. That's 9 years. You can check the gym records. Yeah. We'll just head over to the Premier Fitness Annex, where we keep all the gym records from 9 fucking years ago. Those gym records are deleted, and you fucking know that. Yeah, no, refer to the gym records. Yeah, Premier, or whatever it is. 9 years of records.
All right, so would you agree, Doctor, and we'll refresh your memory with them if we can, that the text messages that were exchanged between yourself and Catherine Magbanoa on the morning after this exchange of money were inconsistent with your extortion theory?
They were inconsistent with how I was feeling.
They don't appear to look like you just gave her $138,000 under duress, do they?
She told me the last thing she said to me before she left the house is, can we just pretend like this never even happened? So when I sent her that message, I was trying to show her, like, I'm trying to forget all about it.
Yeah,
hey,
you were just demonstrating to her that you would agree to pretend.
Averill, send a message because I think I want to see your wrench. I think I just made that happen. And thank you, Victoria. Hotel room bar fund. Well, there's no bar in here. I kind of wish there was right now. And it's not exactly a hotel either. I don't think I could call it that. But thank you. And thank you so much, Riding. And Spacey, send a message so that we can see your wrench. That's not a euphemism. We're waiting, Spacey. Come on. We want to celebrate this. I want to see if it worked. I think it worked. Did I save? I think I saved. Any message. Just put an emoji. Anything. Oh, yeah, now she's like... Come on, Spacey! Alright, everyone in chat, put pressure on Spacey Dove. Riding shotgun's a great sister wife. And did I get this right, Riding, that you're based in Kansas? Oh, what the fuck? I mean, that's insane. I thought you were up in somewhere else. I didn't realize that you were in Kansas. Oh, everyone's not. Yeah, start deleting everyone's comments. That's what she's doing right now, right? She's just jumped straight in. The power has gone to her head. Spacey Dove's like taking the moderator really serious. Going through everything from A to B, from A to Z, all the way through. Hey, thanks so much, Amy. Say yes, Spacey Dove. Yes, say yes. Where is she? Did she get kicked out? Is it because of my bad internet? I kind of don't want to start the video again until we hear from Spacey Dove. This is such a moment. Brand new moderator, great supporter of the channel, great contributor to the conversations and on Instagram and everything. She's just wonderful, wonderful lady. With a rich history, I might add. You know, I've spoken to Spacey Dove a few times, and it's amazing what she's been up to in her life, and now she's here with us. How great is that? I mean, I know that we've all got amazing lives and everything, right? That's why we all hang out together, because we all recognize that we are, as individuals, above the majority of the population. Me included. In a major way. Right, seriously, where the fuck is she? Someone, right, Udi, go down to Fort Lauderdale. Or, no, sorry, West Palm. Head down to West Palm. Drag Spacey Dove out of her house. Make her send a comment. We want to see the wrench. Okay. Well, I guess she'll be here when she's here. Maybe she had something come up. You know. Better than this. Better than being a Metrix moderator. What could that be? You see, Victoria Girl is self-snitching here. Because that's what you would do, isn't it? Trying to figure out how to block everyone else in chat so Metrix is all hers. Well, Spacey is covered in snow. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to go back to the video. But I sure wish Spacey Dove would send a message so we can see her big wrench.
Nothing happened, right?
Absolutely, that's what she asked me to do, and that's what I tried to do.
Just out of curiosity, all you Yankee Doodles out there, do you know what a wrench is called in England? Because it's not called a wrench.
Yeah.
So the text messages aren't what they appear to be. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to the pool. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the gym. None of that is what it appears to be. It's something else.
No. I said it's beautiful, probably, but by the pool. Just got back from the pool. Hope you're doing okay. Headed over to the gym. Are you taking the kids to the beach? It's so nice. Nice having fun. Ethan must be happy. I'm okay, thanks for asking. Just going to try and rest. Yeah, all of that was Charlie trying to tell Katie that he wasn't going to speak. Yeah, spanner, Victoria Girl, well done. Top marks, full marks.
I absolutely did not go to the gym. I was trying to show her that I was, pretending like nothing ever happened and looking past.
Hey, there she is. Clap, clap, clap. We're going to put some emojis. Celebration. Oh, how do I do that? Well, what the hell is... Well, 100. There you go. Awesome. Nice one, Spacey. Welcome to the team. Yeah, we'll add you up to the Discord back office. How do we do that? I'll do that now.
And there's nothing on the wire. All those hours of you talking. There is nothing on the wire about the extortion, this layer 1 of extortion, because she told you not to talk about it, right?
She told me to never talk about anything to anyone or her. She never wanted to hear about it again.
And yesterday, in your testimony, between you and your attorney, you mentioned the word extortion 123 times. Would you take my word for that?
I'd take your word for that, Georgia. Spacey, you are now added to the Discord back office. Up in the club. Up in the club.
I'm sure it came up a lot.
Okay. But nowhere, even in the midst of this whole second extortion, it's happening again. It's an extension of the same thing. Do you mention anything about this layer 1?
That's what I whispered in his ear.
Right, but we can't hear that.
Right, because that's my point. I never wanted anybody to hear what had happened. I never wanted the police to come talk to me. But if you put up that video, you'll actually see me saying that into my dad's ear, and that's why I went in and said it. And that's what we were talking about at the time. So
At Matsuri, the only time you mention the extortion, it's in a whisper that is not picked up by the microphones, right?
Intentionally, yes.
Yes. And that was intentional at the time, but it sucks for your defense, right? Because that would be a huge piece of evidence for you to show this jury, wouldn't it?
No, I think you'd come up with a reason why that I said it anyway.
And there's nobody...
Come up with a reason why, or just show evidence?
To corroborate this testimony?
There is.
Okay. And the Matsuri, you talked about it again out in the parking lot, right? Wasn't that your testimony?
Yes, we spoke in the parking lot.
Okay, so you did talk about the extortion.
Where was your dad from, Victoria?
You just didn't do it in a way that it was captured on any of the recordings in this case.
Well, we spoke when we had privacy.
Well, you had privacy on the phone, right?
When?
At least you thought you had privacy on the phone. Every time when you were talking on the phone for hundreds of hours on this wire.
There's always a chance that I was being listened to.
Okay. Well, there was a chance you were being listened to when you whispered in Dad's ear, right? But you said it. And you were talking about it.
I whispered real quietly into his ear, so I thought I had privacy. At that point, I thought I had privacy. And
Catherine Magbanua and you discussed this first layer of extortion in the car outside of Dolce Vita too, right? That's when I found out everything that was going on, and she opened up when I confronted her. But if this jury could hear that conversation recorded, we would all be hearing basically what you're telling us, that there was an extortion effort that predated the undercover operation. Wouldn't we?
Because I was trying to see if Sigfredo was behind the extortion of my mom.
Behind what happened to me.
I always had a feeling he was behind what happened to me. And she was having this explosive fight with him. And it was...
I love this. I really do need to go through this whole thing and just put them together. Can you imagine what that would sound like? That would be so cool. What happened to me? And he always says it in this way that's like suggestive, or he's trying to make it suggestive, like was T behind what happened to me?
Going on the same exact time that my mom started getting extorted, so I thought that he was going after my mom.
Don't you wish that conversation in the car had been recorded?
I don't know.
Wouldn't it prove your theory?
Yeah.
That you're talking about, the prior extortion.
Then you'd know exactly what happened back then.
But unfortunately, it wasn't recorded, and then everything that was recorded inside the restaurant, you don't mention it, right?
Speaking very carefully. I mean, I was still, even when I was in the car with Katie, she was doing most of the talking. That was the first time she really opened up, and I think I caught her off guard. I was still, even when I spoke to her in the car, I was real careful. I said, was T behind what happened to me to her when I was in the car.
Okay, was T behind what happened to me? Do you say anything anywhere on the wire about referencing what happened to me? Meaning what happened to me before?
No, because that was the only time I ever confronted her. But I did actually when I would be on the wire with my mom, and I would say it's not the same person. Like that was in reference to what happened to me, and she knew that.
What call do you say it's not the same person?
Okay, you want to know what call? It was Tuesday, the 26th, and I said it's at the end of the call. It was a 2-minute and something call.
April 26th?
April 26th, 2016. It was a 2-minute and something call. It was towards the very end. And I go, I know it's not done like this. It's 48 hours, just enough time. It's not the same person. So you can look it up.
Okay, I'm with you. It's not the same person you were referencing as the person that blackmailed me years ago. And has been blackmailing me for years.
Yeah.
That's what you meant.
It's not the same person that's extorting me, correct.
All right. So I want to go back to Wendy. Wendy is in the process of relocating from Tallahassee to South Florida, basically the day that this is going on, the day after the money drop, right?
They're packing up the car and they're coming back. Yeah.
Right. So she's going to be moving significantly closer to the killers that had threatened her life.
This what I don't. She wasn't planning it wasn't a permanent move or anything that was planned. I think she took a suitcase with her.
But she's your family member, yes. She's much closer to the one they've already killed than you, right?
Say it again?
She's much closer. She's got much deeper connections to the person they've already killed. That's Dan Markel, than you do.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason to fear for her safety because these killers have come, they've just killed Dan, and now they're saying they're going to kill another one. It could be Wendy, right?
She has no idea what's going on.
Exactly. But let her move from Tallahassee to Miami where you just killed much deeper connections to the person they've already killed. That's Dan Markel, than you do.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason to fear for her safety because these killers have come, they've just killed Dan, and now they're saying they're going to kill another one. It could be Wendy, right?
She has no idea what's going on.
Exactly. But you let her move from Tallahassee to Miami where you knew the killers were located. That's my point. Do you agree with that?
The killers were able to find Dan Markel in Tallahassee. They have the car.
They were. But would you rather live in Tallahassee or in Miami if the killers are in Miami?
I think if these people want to find you, they'll find you. Okay. I mean, I don't think. I mean, looking at Luis Rivera, I don't think a distance would stop them.
Okay. Where did Wendy and the boys live when she first moved to South Florida?
When she first moved to South Florida, she moved in with my parents into a small apartment. They actually had to get another apartment because that one was too small.
With your parents?
She moved in with them, yeah.
And I want to talk about the cameras. You bought cameras for the Adelson Institute and your home at Whale Harbor, right?
Yes.
The camera system? Yeah. All right. And what about Wendy's? I guess she didn't have a place. So, like, wherever she was staying with your parents, were cameras installed there as well at that same time frame that you installed these cameras?
No, I never told her what happened, but they lived in a very secure building.
Isn't it true, Doctor, that you'd been planning to install those cameras for some time before the murder?
I actually already had cameras at my house that I had installed in 2008. The technology from 2008 to 2014 had changed a lot when it came to cameras.
Yeah, it become antiquated.
You mentioned that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think you mentioned all that on direct. I'm referring to this particular update that was done post-homicide. You were in communication with this camera guy, and I think your lawyer mentioned this. You had 84 text messages with him dating back to January 20th of 2014 in regards to the update that occurred post-murder. Do you agree with that?
I know there was always talk that we were going to get cameras in the office, and we just never got around to it. When this happened, that week, within probably 3 days, I called the camera guy up and I said, I want to get cameras in my house and my new cameras for my house, and I want to get cameras in my office. How soon can you come out and do it? And then he came out, I'd say 4 or 5 days after that, bought the equipment and installed it that week.
Did you hire a private investigator to help you with this whole problem you were having?
With the extortion?
Yes.
No, I didn't tell anybody.
Did you get a bodyguard?
No, I carried a gun on me, and I always sleep with a gun next to me in bed, and I carried a gun on my person and had a gun in my car at all times.
Do you recall a statement you...
And I was going to start carrying one again.
But you did say in 2016, I'm going to start carrying one.
Yeah, I carried probably for about 4 to 6 months after this happened, and I wear scrubs, so the gun that I had can kind of stick out, and it's uncomfortable. I prefer not to carry a gun.
So you quit carrying it, but during the time you were still paying the extortion money?
Yes.
All right, and $1,000 a month. That wasn't going towards the principal of whatever was left on the $333,000, right? Didn't you testify to that?
Correct.
All right, so you never came up with the remaining bulk of the money that you owed?
Never. And
nobody ever came after you for that?
No, they said you could pay it all off and it'll be done, or just pay $3,000 in the full amount.
All right, then a couple weeks later, after the initial extortion, you and Catherine Magbanoa broke up, according to your direct. Do I have that right?
That's not correct.
Oh, when did you break up?
Within a week. I met her, we went out to dinner, we went out to eat, and I just said, this has got to end.
All right, so you broke up with her.
Yes.
Weren't you scared that if you broke up with her that she would sick the Latin Kings on you?
No, because I had every intention of paying every month. When I broke up with her and I said, listen, I don't want to surround myself with this, I'm scared. She said that she was going to come every month and pick up the money and protect me. And she understood. I mean, our relationship was on the rocks.
But you've testified that all the gifts and stuff that you gave her were to keep her happy, right?
Yeah, when I realized that she's the one who's protecting me and she wasn't a part of this extortion, I had no problem keeping her happy, and I looked for nice things to do for her because she was broke.
But not worried about pissing her off by breaking up with her.
Well, our relationship was definitely on the rocks. After July 1st, when Sigfredo cut me off and threatened me and called my dad, and then she knew I didn't even invite her to my dad's birthday party, which was a family gathering with family friends on July 5th. She knew we were going to be done.
After you broke up with Catherine Magbanoa a week after the murder, did you continue to talk to her?
We still communicated, for sure.
Talk on the phone?
And texted, yeah.
And meet up?
No, the only time I would see her was I saw her again the end of August. She came and picked up the money, and that's when she asked me if I could put her on the books, because none of this money was going to her, and she was needed to get health insurance for her kids. So I said, yeah, I'll do it and help you out.
And did you continue to hook up with her after the breakup? And by that I mean, have sex with her.
There was one occasion. There was one time that we hooked up.
Okay, when was that?
Or two.
I want to say it was probably about 5 months after we'd broken up.
Okay, well, there was one other occasion before that in October of 2014. Do you recall that? October 9th of 2014?
That's probably the occasion I'm talking
Maria
about.
Gabriel!
July. When I count the months, July, August, September.
From sunny Montana. Have you shaved the Metrix logo into a moose yet, Maria? Because I asked Spacey to do that in the summer, and it just didn't get done. I want to see the Metrix logo shaved in.
I thought it was one time. If it was 2 times, it's been.
Could it have been 2 times?
But no more.
Okay. And on August 25th, 14, that would have been after the breakup, right?
Yeah.
You text her, and then she replies, I don't need help, I'm good. Don't need favors, nor will I trust anyone again. Erase my number, please. Go on with your life like you did already and have been doing. Sorry we spoke today. I don't want to stress your life more. Don't do anything for me. Do you remember receiving that text from Catherine Magbanua?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
And that's a pretty weird text to get from the extortionist. You're meeting her to give her money. Why is she saying erase my number?
She's not the extortionist.
On
in
9/11,
in 2014, I didn't think she was the extortionist.
right, but it's been revealed that she was.
In 2019, so you're taking what was known in 2019, and you're trying to say I knew what I knew in 1914.
I'm not trying to say you knew. I'm trying to say she knew. She knew she was the extortionist. Why is she telling you to erase her number and leave her alone?
Because I broke up with her.
Exactly. On 9/11 of 14, she sends you #bestie for life. Do you remember that?
It sounds familiar.
So did you all have some kind of reconciliation after the breakup?
No, I was probably doing a favor and making her happy with something.
On
Probably borrowed some
10/6
money.
of 2014, I love you. It makes me feel good that you care about me. I'm lucky to have you as part of my life. Do you remember sending that to her?
Yeah.
On 10/9 of 14, I mentioned the sex
it was
talk.
on
I won't
copy.
go into the
It
details
was on
of
copy
it.
paste.
Again, 10.
I saved it on my phone under notes for when my pseudo relationships were failing. It was just a generic thing that I saved to copy paste and sent to women that were, coming to. I sent it to women that were reaching the conclusion that I really wasn't invested, because I was only invested in my mother. What was it? I love you. I'm happy to have you in my life. I'm lucky to have you in my life. Yeah, this is the extortionist now. This is the woman that came to me and said, I ran my mouth, and my crazy husband and his Latin king brother are going to kill you if you don't give them $250,000. But if you pay it off at $2,000 a month, it's only going to take you 18 years. Or what was it? 18,000 years? Or no, 18,000 months. We did the sums the other day, folks. I can't remember what it was, but it was a ridiculous amount of time. What would it be? Could we do rough numbers? 333,000 minus the 128, so call it 200 grand. At $2,000 a month, 100 months is 100 months is how many years? Oh, 8, right? Ish, around about there. Still a long time.
15 more sex talk. 1023 of 14. Thank you again for everything you're doing for my mommy. She sends you that. What were you doing for her mother?
I don't know. I think I did a consult for her, but I didn't do anything for her mom.
224 of 15. You agree that she always knows how to make you smile, and you say I love you to her. Remember that?
Yeah, I cared a lot about Katie, and I didn't think that she was a part of this. So I was always trying to keep her happy and make her happy. And I felt like she got caught up, dragged.
Because she was protecting me from what T did to me.
Into something that she shouldn't have been dragged into.
Okay, maybe, but she dragged you into it as well.
I didn't see it like that at all. And our relationship actually got stronger. You know, initially when I got extorted, I had limited contact with her and I was cold to her. And then over time, I realized that she's the one who's protecting me and she's not involved with these people because the extortion never went up and Katie was always broke.
She was involved with them because she had a child with the guy, right?
I didn't know for sure it was him. But
you suspected always that it was him.
I always suspected that Sigfredo was behind this.
So wouldn't you want to distance yourself from this woman who, I mean, were you ever really...
No, I wasn't considering that.
You were a playboy, right? You had a zillion girlfriends.
That is actually not even true.
Okay.
I had 2 girlfriends in the 2 or 3 years after her. I dated Whitney Kick for 9 months.
Okay, but how many women were you talking to and engaging with sexually? A lot more than Whitney Kick, right?
There could have been 1 or 2.
Or more?
No.
Okay. Point being, you were not going to marry Catherine Magbanua.
I wasn't having marriage plans, no.
Okay. And you have now broken up with her after this incident.
Yes.
She's the person that's taking the money from you physically.
She's the one. I looked at it as she's the one who's protecting me. If she was, I was going to get a visit from somebody.
Is she the one that was physically taking the money?
Yes.
Oh,
is
guys.
she the one that was connected to the person?
People are still getting kicked out. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just having real trouble in this location that I'm at the moment with the signal. I'm really sorry. I just, we didn't do a live yesterday. We promised Metrix Week. People helped us reach that goal at the top of the chat, and even though we've got a bad signal, I'm just trying to put it out there. But I can't magic the internet. It's just that we're not in a good location. But tomorrow we are going to be in a good location. So please come back for a non-interrupted stream tomorrow. It's going to be way better. I think we're going to close it out soon anyway, guys, because I got to be checking out of this place in like 6 hours. And I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of sleep if I can. Let's see what the chat's saying. Is it all fucked up? I'm sorry, guys. I really am. But don't hate us. Don't unsubscribe. Stay with us. We're coming back to full quality streams. Oh, it looks like everyone's fucked. I'm sorry, guys.
Person you suspected to have killed your brother-in-law?
I thought she was tied to that person, yes.
And, right, because she ran her mouth, right?
And I looked at that I ran my mouth too. And if I never said anything to her, this would never have happened. So I felt responsible for saying something to her in the first place.
But you didn't feel responsible enough to try to do anything about her sitting in jail, an innocent woman, for 3 years. Did you?
She never contacted me.
You didn't offer to testify in her trial. You let her get convicted and get life in prison, didn't you?
I thought the truth was going to come out.
But not through you.
I was never contacted. I thought it was going to come out through her.
Was there any contact between you?
Hey, look, I think we should close it out. I can see the signal is low and people are having trouble. So let's close it out. I got to be up in the morning anyway, like in 5 hours. And I'm not going to sleep for the next 2, I should imagine. I've been having fucking insomnia. Like, I got to go to the doctor. I got to say, listen, doc, give me some of that good stuff, doc, because I have not had more than 3 hours sleep for a week. Ugh, what the hell is that about? It's crazy. Emphasis. Yeah, that's what she does, Victoria Girl. I love that thing she does in closing where she says something like, I'm putting a particular emphasis on certain words. You know, she's just like, well, you know, you get what I mean. We'll get there. That's going to be closing. Patricia Burns, there you are. Good to see you, girl. Yeah, I will, Victoria girl. I'm sure I will. Yeah, we'll close it out for tonight, guys. Thanks for being here. Sorry for the glitches, guys. Tomorrow we're going to be back on a full Metrix signal, okay? Good Metrix signal tomorrow. Out of this fucking brick hole that I'm in. Even though the bed is pretty nice. Got 4 pillows. Big pillows. Hotel pillows. Alright. See you later, guys. True Crime Metrics out.